intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Sky's the limit, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game can see the Boxing Voice.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. And today, on Thursday's preview and prediction show, we have a jam-packed show. Might not be the biggest fights out there for us, I guess, casuals. But for the hardcores, there is a very good boxing match on this weekend that we should all be enjoying and watching. Really the rising star of Vergil Ortiz on this Dazn card. Vergil Ortiz will be taking on Antonio Orozco, whose only lone defeat comes at the hands of unified 140-pound champion Jose Ramirez. Orozco's moving up in this fight. This is his second fight at welterweight, and it will be Vergil Ortiz's second fight at welterweight. And that card is just jam-packed with Golden Boy prospects. The return of Joshua Franco, Hector Tanajara, Black Magic, Travell Mazion is back on this card, and many, many others. Then on ESPN Plus, where we should have had a main event that isn't taking place due to a lamp falling on Carl Frampton's hand in the lobby in Philadelphia, so he had to pull out. I'm sure any hardcore fan that listens to the show seen the pictures on social media. He's gutted, but he's out. Jason Sosa's 10-rounder becomes the main event versus Lydell Rhodes, I believe. And we know Lydell, not a world beater, definitely going to give some rounds. If Sosa could stop him, that would be impressive. And this is an opportunity to kind of steal some shine right now. You know, he wasn't meant to be the main event. He's from that Philadelphia, Cherry Hill, New Jersey area. You know, he should get a lot of support. There's going to be some good supporting fighters on this particular ESPN Plus top rank Jason Sosa versus Haskell Lydell Rhodes main event. Someone you should be definitely keeping an eye out for. And I desperately wanted to be there today. Just the time of the press conference was horrible for me to get out to Philly, which was 2 hours away. But Robeisy Ramirez is on this card. He is the young man that defeated Shakur Stevens in the Olympics. He signs the top ranked. He's training in St. Petersburg, Florida, in the gym of Keith One-Time Thurman. And he's making his debut Saturday right here on ESPN in Philadelphia in a 4-round fight versus Adan Gonzales. So definitely one to be looking out for. Just see his pro style. You know, I've been told by him that he doesn't spar with headgear. His opponent wears the headgear, not him. And he made it very clear to me that he's going to prove that the Cuban stigma doesn't apply to him. He is an aggressive Cuban, from what I got to see and from what he tells me. So I am going to be all eyes for sure. Speaking of all eyes, the all eyes will be on Sonny Canto. Canto back right there in Philadelphia as a supporting bout with Jason Sosa. Definitely going to continue to sell those tickets. This is Sonny Canto's fourth fight. He's 3-0 with 3 KOs. And, he's fought once on Las Vegas on that Tyson Fury undercard and twice in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena, where I believe this fight is taking place at in the 2300 Arena. So he'll be back. The whole arena was Team Kanto before. I wouldn't put it past it being that way again. And I'm just happy that we have all these streaming services and we're able to get the development of these up-and-coming heavyweights. You know, if he continues this route, we probably see him in a main event in Philly in that same arena versus the Joey DeWelko type. But he'll be taking on Guillermo del Rio in a 4-round heavyweight fight. And I like that. This is already his 4th fight, and they're keeping him at 4 rounders. We could have easily seen him be jumped up to 6s. They're going slow with him. He's young. No need to rush. No huge Olympic background, but definitely has some nationals under his belt. So topic number 3 would be our Mauricio Sulaiman interview. And we're hoping that all that goes well. I had got confirmation from him early this morning, and everything was good. And I just sent them another one, just checking if we'll be able to get him on at 5. He is traveling. I'm also doing a backup with Robert Garcia, the trainer of Vergil Ortiz, who's also flying. We were scheduled to have Ortiz, not really scheduled because I didn't let you guys know, but, you know, we were going to have Vergil Ortiz. But he hit me up, and he's like, he's cutting weight. He just doesn't feel like it right now. And it's all good. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow's the weigh-in. It's a difficult day, and it's always been that way on prediction day, Maybe prediction day needs to be moved to Monday to give the fighters a week, right? And let the video and the prediction itself build. But that being said, topic number 4, Adrian Broner says he is the best at 140 pounds and calls out Jose Ramirez, the unified champion, WBO and WBC. And he says Regis Prograis is garbage. And that's why I titled the show, Orozco clash for Pacquiao's WBA title, because he's fighting for a WBA gold. We'll get into all the details of that. Ortiz and Orozco will clash for a title in the WBA. And then I put Broner lying again. Calls out Prograis and Ramirez, and we all know, he ain't fighting them dudes, bruh. Definitely. Look, if you don't believe that he's lying about not fighting them, you know he lying about Regis Prograis being garbage. At least. But we got a whole bunch of news and notes. So, yeah, man, let me get on out to my co-host. But you know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. Let's go.
DiBiase Production.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it.
BoxingVoice.com.
So when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak. And he stayed at 147.
A man stand up for what he believe in, and when you stand up for what you believe in, you accept whatever consequences come behind it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, welcome back, and everybody out there in the TBV universe back with another one. A lot of boxing to talk about today, so I won't bore you with a long intro. Instead, let's go ahead and get right into it. What's going on, Ness?
What up, champ? Yeah, man, very excited for this Vergil Ortiz and Antonio Orozco fight. They're both not natural welterweights. They're moving up. They've already had one fight apiece in the welterweight division, and for Orozco, he really didn't fight in welterweight. It was like 142 and a half, and he didn't fight a named welterweight, but he did get a win, and his only loss is to Ramirez. And Ortiz, his biggest win is Mauricio Herrera, and we all seen that fight live. Like, wasn't like Herrera was the Herrera of old and put up much resistance, but that was his first fight at 147. Now, he did have one fight at 142. So essentially, these two guys will be meeting at 47. The biggest issue is that this is for a vacant welterweight WBA gold title. Now, right away, I know you're going to think, vacant welterweight world title. Damn, he's fighting for the title that was belonged to Pacquiao now that Pacquiao's been elevated to super champion. But that welterweight gold title, that shit didn't sit well with me. I kept feeling like something was wrong on the verbiage there. And I Googled, and that's some new shit. That's not Pacquiao's WBA regular title. So the WBA, instead of getting rid of all the titles that they were supposed to have, they have now a super WBA, which is Pacquiao. Then they have a WBA regular champion, which is vacant. Then they have a WBA interim champion. And now they will have a WBA gold champion in the welterweight division, which will be the winner of this fight. Regardless of what you may think about that and the WBA and all the belts, what it does do is move the fighter along. So Vergil Ortiz or Antonio Orozco will be propelled. Ortiz is already ranked at 10 in the WBA as a welterweight with only that one fight, where Antonio Orozco is ranked at 14 with that only one fight. So, you know, a guy that I know that's pretty decent from the Florida area, Derek Cuevas, hasn't even gotten on TV, and he's ranked 13. So, you know, these young men are doing well for themselves, especially being on TV. The thing is, we might actually see some good fights because of this. You know, you got guys like Oldani Ulgas, Alexander Bisbutin, who I've never really gotten to watch, but Ulgas, Danny, Keith, Mikey, Jamal James is the least sexy name. So Ortiz, who's a puncher, and depending how he looks versus Orozco, if he can whitewash Orozco, which I find to be difficult. Ramirez went to war with him, but damn, Ramirez did so well. I don't know, man. I know I'm rambling, but what do you think about this new gold title, or did you remember this? Because Joe Joyce is the gold champ in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, it's probably no different than like the WBC silver title. I mean, a lot of divisions have a lot of titles. A lot of sanctioned bodies have a lot of titles nowadays, so I'm not really phased about new titles or extra titles. Vergil Ortiz, seen him one fight, haven't really seen a lot of them, so I really don't know much about him. I see that he has power at the weight class. Want to see if that translates when he moves. Well, since he's up at 147, can he still get the guys out of there with the same kind of power shots that he's been doing? So I'm excited to learn more about him this weekend. The Zone got a lot of guys on that card that I heard of maybe once or twice, but not a lot of guys that I'm really overly familiar with.
Yeah, for Ortiz, I don't think that, obviously we got to see, because, you know, even Thurman knockouts dissipated at the higher level. Before Ortiz, he was the first guy to knock out Herrera. What was your thoughts on that knockout? And obviously factor in the fact that, you know, Herrera was that age and at the end of his career. But for me, I've never seen Herrera knocked out. And it wasn't like an old man knockout. It was like a knockout to me. But what that was obviously the only fight you saw of Vergil. What was your thoughts on that performance and as far as the knockout on that opponent?
I mean, older guy, set him up for him. I mean, young guy coming in, trying to make a statement. He definitely did that against Herrera. But, I mean, factoring in the Herrera age, I don't know. It's good for your resume. It's good for your building process. But I don't know how much we can take it out of it. Let's see when he gets up to those guys at 147 that aren't like top-level contenders, but are like fringe-level contenders, maybe even journeyman kind of guys, you know what I'm saying? Let's just see how he fights those guys versus a Herrera who was older and what's the guy's name? Antonio, who was moving up in weight class.
Definitely. Herrera's 39. What was Areola's age? But obviously, Herrera did not look like Areola.
Maybe 34, 35. He wasn't that old.
Oh, really? Areola's that young?
Nah, yeah, 34. I thought he was. I mean,
holy shit.
Double check.
I didn't know that.
You were talking on the side of my head.
Yo, Herrera got some decent wins. You know, it's not like Areola that got like one win. Like, Herrera got some decent wins.
Oh, never mind. 38.
Yeah, you see? Herrera got some decent wins. He beat Lundy. He beat Jesus Carras. You know, who was the other name I seen? He really beat Jose Benavidez Jr. Everybody seen that. That's how Benavidez got the interim title. And a lot of people believe he beat Danny Garcia. But he was in there with punchers too. Mike Alvarado, who he lost to. Mike Dallas Jr., who he beat, was trained by Virgil Hunter. Kareem Mayfield, he was one of those wild punchers. Danny was a puncher. Benavidez, I'm not going to say he was a puncher. Frankie Gomez, that was supposed to be a puncher. And he did lose to Frankie Gomez. That was that kid from the Lower East Side of L.A. I said Lower East Side. What is it? East Side of I don't know, whatever. The point is he was trained by Freddie Roach as well. But, man, Frankie Gomez was a bust. Like, people expected so much. Oh, shit, he beat Ji-Hoon Kim, too. Yo, I don't know. I mean, look, Herrera did look old, though, man. He looked like he liked to go have a few brewskis, yo. Like, his stomach never looked like that. In that Virgil fight, I never seen it like I seen cellulite in his stomach. So you could be right. And like I said, Areola, maybe unfair to me to compare to Areola because Areola had a really good performance.
Yeah, I'm trying to see when the last time Mauricio Herrera had fought before he fought Virgil Ortiz, and yeah, I mean he wasn't off too long, like 6 months. He fought Saddam Ali, which he lost to Saddam. So coming off a loss facing Virgil Ortiz, I mean, I guess not bad. I mean it's a good win for Virgil since he is a coming opponent with Saddam Ali. Saddam will beat Cotto, and you were able to stop him instead of a unanimous decision like Saddam Ali. So I guess that win does look a little bit better when you go into it, and it's not like a TKO; it's an actual knockout. So yeah, I'm excited to see Virgil fight this weekend, man. I'm just mad that I really don't know much about him, so I can't really give a in-depth analysis on him. But from what I've been hearing from callers and from social media and just from the whole YouTube, he's definitely a guy that has power and a guy that people are very, very high on. Like people think that not Teofimo Lopez, but this guy could be the next big Mexican superstar in the sport of boxing. So I'm all for it. We're gonna go on to the second fight: Joshua Franco versus Oscar Negrete. Joshua Franco, where have I heard that name before? Let me see. Joshua Franco. I do know Oscar Negrete though. He fought. Who did Oscar fight? Let me see. He definitely looks familiar. I think he just fought not too long ago. Oh, he fought Franco on the first fight. He got a split decision. Oh, he fought Franco. What? It's a trilogy? Damn, man. First fight was a draw. Second fight was a split decision. This fight is going to be the trilogy. So we're going to check that out. But he fought Ray Vargas. Lost to Ray. That's where I know him from, fighting Ray Vargas. Okay, well, I mean,
Mike.
Franco. Go ahead.
Yo, why Mike was all late to pick up the slack on me, yo? He's not acting like a teammate today. He's upset still from this morning. Mike, that was for you. This is a peace offering. Look at me. Look, I'm giving you a peace offering. Can we have peace?
All right, bro. I have no inclination.
You ready for the
What you
surprise?
mean? You ready? I'm talking about Joshua Franco and
8:30. I
Oscar
got a peace
Negrete having
offering.
a damn trilogy.
8:30.
I didn't know these guys were having a trilogy.
8:30. I got a peace offering surprise for you. You want to know what it is, or you rather wait for 8:30?
Let's just wait till 8:30, man.
Wow, really? Okay. Okay, cool. So we're talking who? Joshua Franco having a trilogy? He's having that's a trilogy fight?
Him and old boy having a trilogy.
Wow.
Oh
yeah, because that's Oscar. I would have found that out in a matter of minutes because I seen that when you put it, Oscar Negrete, he was supposed to be one of the up and coming prospects for Golden Boy. I believe he's Brazilian too. Let me double check that. I didn't know they fought that many. See, I was thinking this when you sent over the notes, bro. I'm sorry, man. It's actually, I don't know, right? This is what I thought, and I was leaning towards this feeling that lower level named fighters are having less promotion on DAZN and ESPN, where you got on PBC and Fox, and I'm including their social media. Okay, that's exact like that. That's more of the argument, is that social media push. You look at the numbers of some of these other lower level names like an Orozco, an Oscar Negrete. You got to throw in Ryan, but he does numbers. Vergil Ortiz, but he does numbers, which he really doesn't, right? And we'll get into the actual numbers. Like, bro, the fucking Ramirez fight and Hooker only got like 25,000 views, I think. Let me double check that. I don't want to be a liar. But I seen, I'm like, what is going on? Whereas, I can't even front. I'll take ESPN out of there because I seen Tevin Farmer on an ESPN interview. That shit almost had 1 million in a few days. And we already talked about how BT and Fox are having millions in a matter of days. So look, the DAZN, that's not even it. That's top 10 biggest hits on DAZN. I'm trying to find this Hooker fight. Oh, there you go. 201,000. Is that good? Like, Omatoso got more than that versus Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a unification. We talking about journeyman crossroad fights, just to put it into comparison. So I just want DAZN to do a little bit better. It's not that they not. We see they trying and they're doing a lot of, social media push and posts and things like that, but the numbers are not equating, man. They just not getting there. Like the Crawford reacting to the shade only got 98,000. Like, that's crazy. That's something that it's just not. It's not. So, for instance, the bigger name fighter, look at Tevin Farmer. A message for Gervonta Davis, 800,000. So there's a huge. All I'm saying is, it's not that they're not doing their job. There's just the numbers are indicating a huge disparity for the star and for the prospect. Whereas on ESPN and PBC, it ain't like that. You see Ustadegi and Caleb Plant do the numbers that Keith Thurman and Josecito Lopez will do. So they just got to do better. And that's on TV. But if you go, again, to their social medias, either Instagram, but more preferably YouTube, because, that is better than Instagram. In terms of reach, I want to believe, even though it's statistically more people are on Instagram per day than they are on YouTube. But statistically, more people spend longer periods of time on YouTube because of the video length. So, I don't know. A lot of information. But
I don't know. I just think some interviews are like hit and miss. We see it all the time. DAZN had a couple clips that went viral with Ruiz and Joshua. So I think it's just the magnitude of what's being said and who's being said to. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes people may see those clips somewhere else and not really feel the need to rewatch it again on DAZN or any other thing like that. But yeah, man, big ups to all the networks and YouTube channels that help promoting boxing. I went to the Apple Store today, got my phone fixed, and the guy was talking about boxing in the Apple Store, talking about the Pacquiao and Keith Thurman fight, and just talking about Errol Spence and how Mikey Garcia got beat up. So I was thoroughly entertained that somebody knew about boxing that maybe I wouldn't have ever met, you know what I'm saying, or even had a conversation with besides what's wrong with my phone, you know what I'm saying?
That's always cool. I always get excited like when someone knows the sport. Did you ask him if he would like watches YouTube and shit?
No, he didn't really follow like a lot of podcasts and like that. So
no, I just meant YouTube in general.
No, I didn't ask him if he watched YouTube, but he did give us a subscribe thing. So big ups to him.
Because that's what I like to do, like to gauge a person that is a boxing fan. It's like, yo, you watch YouTube? And it's like, yeah, I watch all the fights on YouTube. Or I go back and watch one. And it's like, oh, all right. Then he a little bit of a hardcore, you know what I mean? Because not a lot of casuals, I don't think a lot of casuals do what you do, right? Like you go back and watch fights. So like, and they could be found on YouTube. So I don't know. That's just something I try to use to gauge. In terms of social media and YouTubes, I mean, Showtime did a good job with the Gervonta Davis fight. Obviously, the numbers that came in, they were written on headlines as good. I mean, I didn't think that the 500,000 was good, but that whole month of the fight, they got millions of views on Showtime Sports YouTube channel. Like, every build-up video they put out got crazy views. And so did his, and that's what I'm saying, so did his fight, right? Like his post-fight highlight or whatever, that shit is on 1.6. That's a highlight. Remember, just comparisons, and that's in 1 week. Again, to keep it in comparison, our good friend Daniel Dubois and Richard Lardy did 1.7 in 3 weeks, and it's on hold at there. You know, it's still marked as 3 weeks on YouTube and is not moving from 1.7. But overall, man, really excited for this Orozco card with Ortiz. I'm picking Ortiz. I think he's going to go the decision, though. I think Orozco's tough. If I'm not mistaken, let me double check. Do you remember if he got stopped by Ramirez? Or I think he went the decision with Ramirez.
I thought he pulled out, man.
What do you mean pulled out?
I didn't remember his fight.
No, they had the fight. I watched it.
Okay, well, I know something happened. Maybe he got rescheduled.
Yeah, he went the decision. It was a 12-round decision, and Ramirez is relentless. Even though Orozco's name is relentless, Ramirez, bro, man, and I just refreshed myself on that fight. God damn, okay, Ramirez, yo, Alex Lemon, man, shout out to you. How did I not notice that left hook? You know what? I never seen that fight, I don't think, with Orozco. Man, his left hook, crazy. It was better in the Orozco fight than in the Hooker fight. But obviously that's because Hooker's probably a little more skilled than Orozco or taller, what makes it harder. But damn, if y'all want to see a good fight, at least watch the Orozco Ramirez highlights. Bro, the way he's talking that left hook to the left torso and to the right torso and to the top of the right head is crazy. He doubles up on it. That shit is like a rubber band. And, Vergil Ortiz comes into this with the advantage. Two things. Not two advantages, just two things. One of those two being one advantage, which is Robert Garcia, who I'm still trying to get on the show as well, man, but he's on a flight. But yeah, Robert Garcia, who's the trainer of Vergil Ortiz, but Robert Garcia is also the trainer of Jose Ramirez. So not only did he get to spar Ramirez and Mikey and everybody else in that RGB camp, but he also has the advantage of the trainer that already beat Orozco being in your corner as well. That being said, speaking of trainers, before he went to Robert Garcia, he was with Joel Diaz, who ironically called his last fight. Crazy, right? So, yeah, I'm going to pick Vergil Ortiz, but I think it's going to go a UD, maybe. And then
be very impressive if he gets the knockout over him, and when even though it's a high weight class, but I still would be impressed. Hector Tanajara. I've heard of that name. Heard of that guy's name too, but just don't remember.
That's another Texas guy. Oh yeah, for all our Texans, Joseph and them. Yo, Ortiz is from Texas, small town over there. I forgot the name of, like Perry something. I don't know. And Franco and Hector all from Texas too. Hector Tanajara all from Texas. Hector's another heavily touted prospect. Robert, I believe, manages him and trains him, Garcia. And he's been with him for like 3 years already. He got him fresh out, amateurs and stuff. So he's been grooming him. I watched like 1 or 2 fights. Damn, he's already 17-0. But look, I thought he had more power than. He's only, oh shit, he uses MXs. He only has 5 knockouts. Wow.
Yeah, I seen that too. Like not a whole lot of power. So
interesting, because he's so tall. He's 5'10", and he's fighting at 135. So it's like he's gonna have to move up soon. Hopefully he gains power as he stops struggling to make the weight. He's 22 years old. Man, he was touted, but it looks like they're slowing him down. Not slowing him down, but pacing him. Nothing out of the ordinary jumping out at me. He's already moved up a division. He started at 35, but then went down to 30 as he got into the professional ranks and went back up to 35 now. I mean, he got a technical decision. He thought of himself as a cut. Nope, that was stopped because of the cards. Wow. Bro, he's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basically decisions back to back. All right. So, I mean, let's see. Maybe he's a boxer. Like I said, I've only watched him like once.
Yeah, I think I only seen like one time too.
Yeah, because, you know, this is the thing. And this is, I went nowhere with that whole DAZN thing. That's where I'm going. It's like, did Golden Boy do the right thing, bro? Like, all these guys are not getting no TV time. Like,
bro, a lot of these fighters are only, like, besides Vergil, only fight once, you know what I'm saying? Done fought once in like the last 8-9 months.
Well, Tanajara is a Golden Boy prospect. He's been with them for years already, like I said, and he needs what Shakur is getting, what Teofimo is getting, what even Jason Sosa and Sonny Canto are getting. So does Vergil. You know, Vergil is lucky that the boxing world considers him like prospect of the year or, you know, that prospect on the rise or contender. But look at poor Oscar Negrete, bro. Like, you said he's in a trilogy with Joshua Franco. Like, I should have known that 2 fights ago. That's crazy because both of them were, you know, they made big deals when they signed them both, you know? And it's just like, they're not getting a good enough push, bro. Like, it's only the big names that we know of in Golden Boy, the Lemieux and things like that. Like, bro, look, Oscar Negrete got 2 losses, bro.
Yeah, they're definitely not doing a good job having these guys out regularly and more active, you know what I'm saying? It's not good to see.
He's Colombian. I said Brazilian. I was wrong about that, but I knew he was from somewhere. So he lost to Ray Vargas. Oh. Who was first?
You didn't say. You said you had a surprise.
Shakur. No, 8:30 is the surprise. 7:30 is Shakur.
All right.
Let's get Shakur on in.
We got Mazion, the black. What's the guy's name? The black.
Yeah, don't let me forget that 8:30 too, bro. That's gonna be good.
But he's fighting Jeremy Ramos in an 8-round middleweight fight. Hector Valdez is fighting Rafael Delgado in a 6-round junior featherweight fight. This card there's a lot of fights on here. George Rincon is fighting Enrique Escobar in a 6-round junior welterweight fight. Joshua Suarez is fighting Emmanuel Sanchez. And Tristan Kalkreuth is fighting Kynndale Prather in a 4-round light heavyweight fight. So the Golden Boys, like, they're getting their whole roster out on one card and letting these guys get some money. So I guess, man, I mean, I'm not here to say what they should or shouldn't be doing, but I would like to see some of these names on this list out a little bit more.
Mr. Gross, we have our first guest, Shakur Stevens. Shakur, man, I want to thank you first and foremost for taking out the time to give us an opportunity to interview you. I know you got a lot of things going on right now. WBO obviously has ordered for you to get a title shot, and it's looking like it's going to be Joet Gonzalez. We're just extremely happy for you, me especially being from your hometown, and we just want to get your overall thoughts on the news.
I'm definitely excited, and I'm honestly, I'm just ready to start my training camp and get ready to fight.
Shakur, hate to bother, but if you're using speakerphone or something, could you not, just so it could be a little louder? It sounds with an echo, but man, definitely excited that you're excited. What's your overall thoughts on Joet Gonzalez? I know you really wanted Oscar Valdez or Carl Frampton, but it's looking like it's going to be Gonzalez.
I feel like he's a decent fighter. I feel like he do a lot of things good, but I feel like I'm a whole different level.
What's going on, Shakur, man? It's Mike here. My first question for you is, a lot of people may say, hey, man, it might be a little bit too quick for Shakur to get a title shot. You know, he still got some things that he might need to work on or some developing to do. To those people, you say what?
I don't say nothing. That's their opinion. They gonna get to see. Hello.
Yes, sir. We still here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm trying to put my headphones in. But I mean, I don't really say nothing. I let the people think what they want to think. I know I'm on a different level. I done been in there with the Terrence Crawfords, the Lomachenko's, Gary Russell Jr.'s. I know what type of level I'm on, so hey, that's their opinion, but they about to see now I'm about to be a world champion in 13 fights. A lot of people haven't done that, so.
What do you make of Oscar Valdez dropping that belt? Do you think that he was persuaded to move up, or
I feel like if people saying that I'm not ready for a world title shot, but you got guys like Oscar Valdez jumping to 130 just so he can't fight me. Like, I feel like I got champions that don't want to fight. Like, they talking about their fight Carl Frampton, who has no title, but they don't want to fight Shakur Stevenson. Like, so I feel like Oscar Valdez move was lame, but either way, in a few more fights, you're going to have to see me anyway because I'm going to go up to 132.
Wait. You say you feel like Oscar Valdez was made?
was lame?
Lame.
Oh, okay. So, obviously with Joel Gonzalez, people have him made out to be this power puncher. Do you believe that he's a puncher?
Hell no. I've been in the ring with that nigga. He's not no power puncher. Hell no. That's not true. I don't even think he hit hard. I think that he throws a good amount of punches. And he throws several punches, and that's what how he get guys out of there. He stops certain guys because he throws a lot of punches in combinations. But I don't think that he punch hard. He got no power. I sparred him before.
Okay, so how do you prepare for that? I guess Mexican style, right? That like kind of Jose Ramirez, just pressure, always on top of you.
Him and Jose Ramirez got two different styles. I feel like Jose Ramirez is non-stop. Like, it don't matter what you hit Jose Ramirez with, he's gonna keep coming. I feel like Joel slows down and he plays defense. His defense is not bad. Like, he plays defense. Like, in times where you watch that fight, you just holding the hot guards up. And he plays defense. Like, he got a solid defense. So I feel like it's two different styles. I don't think that he's just gonna come straight forward. But I'm going in there. I'm gonna outbox the hell out of him for 12 rounds. And if he runs the same, he runs the same.
Take me back to July 13th. You know what I'm saying? You put on a great performance in your hometown of Newark, and it seemed like you had a lot of support there. Can you just let me know how the energy was in the building and how just like give me your experience from that night?
It definitely was an amazing night. Seeing how much support I got from the city. I didn't expect that much support. All my city, they came out and they supported me. I got to walk out with a rapper with some shirts from my city. That was an amazing night for me. My opponent, he wasn't as good, but I went in there and I did what I had to do with him and made him look like what he should have looked like that night. So I feel like that was a great performance. I feel like this performance is going to be a lot better because I'm fighting better opposition. I feel like this opponent that I'm fighting. I feel like Joel might be even better than Oscar Valdez. I'm being honest with you. I seen them spar before. I watched them two work. I feel like Joel might be better than me. I feel like Joel is a solid opponent. I feel like he's going to bring out the best in me.
I keep hearing you say, I'm ready for my world title shot. What makes Shakur so confident that he is indeed ready to be a champion and stay a champion?
Like I said before, I feel like I done been in there with the word champ. I done been in there with Lomachenko. I'm talking about me and Lomachenko done did 12 rounds straight. Like 12 rounds straight, I'm going in there with Lomachenko. I'm sparring him the whole camp. Me and him working. Like, I done been in there with top level guys, and I know that if I can hold my own and not get in there with these guys, these people that I'm fighting, they can't compete with me. Like, I know that after I become a champion, I want to unify If not, I want to fight Carl Frampton. But I just want to be great, and I know I'm great. So I came from the Olympic. I got that amateur pedigree that all the great fighters have, and people they starting to notice slowly by slowly. But I'm gonna keep showing them.
So you said you wanted that Carl Frampton fight. Does it bother you to hear your promoter Bob Arum say that Frampton should not fight you because he feels it's a dangerous fight for Frampton? That if Frampton wants a world title, he should move up and possibly fight Jamel Herring.
Yeah, I don't like Bob. You can't blame Bob because Bob just speaks his mind. Like Bob, he older now. Bob just say whatever comes in his mind. So I don't blame Bob, but I feel like he right. Like he right. He's saying the truth. Frampton versus me, I feel like I crush Frampton, but it'll be a big fight for the fans. There's a lot of people that think I'm not on world level. So after they see what I can do with him, they will understand what type of level I'm at. So I feel like Bob's right, but I'm still gonna try to push it and get that fight as much as I can.
Speaking of that UK scene, this week we seen the IBF champion Josh Warrington announce his fight. I don't know the guy that he's fighting, but he definitely, in my opinion, I felt like he used your name to move the promotion. He's saying he'll give you 12 rounds of hell. Would it last 12 rounds?
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know, but I know that in that situation, I'm a bigger puncher than he is. So I feel like Josh Warrington just be talking. I feel like he ain't say nothing about Shakur Stevenson or nothing until he found out that I'm fighting somebody else for the title. And I was like, I can't. There's no chance me and him can fight. Like he already told me straight out of his own mouth, I guess. Like if you don't get a belt, I'm not fighting you. And that's what it is. And he already saying like I'm a dangerous opponent. Like he knows what it is. So I seen that stuff, but hopefully after this fight, me and Warrington get in the ring and unify after I become a world champion.
Is that a fight that you would wait at 126 for before moving up, or do you think after you get your belt and defend it a couple times, you'll be going up to 130?
I'll definitely be going up to 130. I feel like 130 is a real good weight class, and once I get there, I'm going for all the top. So I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited about it, and it's not even here yet, so I can't wait for that.
Now, how do you see yourself? Like, how many fights before you think you're moving up? Are you going to try and be a WBO champion long enough to then activate that WBO rule where you can challenge the champion in the weight division above? Or is it just get the title, I'm busting at the seams, I got to go to 130?
Man, I might just get the title, and if I even go to 130, I know it ain't going to be hard for me to get a title shot, being that I'm coming from being a world champion at 126. But I don't think it'd be that hard. I feel like once I get to 130, it's some big name fight for me. And I feel like it's going to be a big fight, between me and Gervonta Davis. Like, and I know it is. Like, I know it's going to come to the time where it's going to be like an Ali Tyson fight. Like, a fight that people going to want to see so bad. Like, I already know how this going to go. And I just can't wait for it. I'm excited.
What? Really? Like, that came out of left field. You know,
yeah, it came out of nowhere. Well, not really no.
I mean, yeah, I seen y'all have beef on social media in the past, but then I seen y'all fix things.
Nah, it ain't even no beef. It ain't no beef or nothing. It's business. It's business. I feel like I respect Tank's fight game. Like, I feel like Tank is the best at 130 pounds. Like, I feel like that's Tyson, and I feel like once I get there, that's Ali, and that's gonna be the fight. That's gonna be the big fight. And maybe I'm speaking too soon, but I said it first.
Do you think he could wait for you?
Once people start saying, I don't know. Tank don't seem like he want to move up anytime soon. Tank, I don't know. I feel like he
Damn, bro. Yo, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you from my hood. 22 years old and you calling out Tank, man. That is amazing. You doing big things, man. I mean, you ain't calling him out, but you see yourself in the ring with him where, you know, that we just don't hear that so soon from fighters. That's beautiful. I hope it happens for you because it is cross promotion, man.
Do you believe Tank is the best at 130?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Tank talented. That's why Tank got real skills that nobody see. Also, like people see all the power, but Tank got skills too. And I've been in the ring with Tank before, like, and I know what I'm doing. Like I see he about to be. Tank is becoming a star. I'm seeing slowly and slowly. I'm growing more and more. I'm a big 126 now. 130 right around the corner. Once I get to 130, nobody at 130 can beat me. Like, it's gonna get to the point where it's like me and him gonna have to get in the ring. And the fans, that's what all the fans gonna be talking about. I know. I see how the fans talk about Terrence and Earl. It's gonna get to the point where the fans gonna be talking about Shakur versus Tank. And
what about the guys like Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz who probably gonna follow you up to 130? You saying those guys can't beat you at 130 either?
Nah, I ain't gonna disrespect Gary. Me and Gary got a good relationship, but I feel like I'm speaking on, like, you know how you got that one guy that you know is just thorough as you is. I feel like me and Tank two thorough different type of fighters. I feel like that's gonna be a mega fight. Like, I feel like that's gonna be a mega fight.
Hey, Shakur.
Devin kind of bigger. Devin. I don't even think Devin gonna make 135 for too much longer. I feel like Devin could be at 140 very soon. And I think Devin really is fighting too, though.
I just want to ask you about the two names you brought up fighting each other, because we've seen Gary Russell have a lot of energy for Tank Davis on social media and kind of saying, you know, like, that kid doesn't want to fight me, but they're not in the same division. Do you ever see that fight happening? And since you sparred both, how does that fight look?
I don't know if I see the fight happening, but it could happen. They both with Al Hammond. It's depending on if both of them really want to fight. And if it's that serious, they could go to Al and say, I want to fight him, and they can make that happen. But I feel like Tank a lot bigger than Gary. Like size might play a part. I could be wrong, but I feel like Tank a lot bigger than Gary. I feel like I've been around Gary. I'm a lot bigger than Gary. So Gary do got power in both hands. Still, like, he got dynamite in his glove, but I do feel like Tank a lot bigger than him. So I don't know how it goes. I feel like size may play a factor.
Do you think we'll ever see a Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko pay-per-view on Top Rank?
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be another big fight. I feel like if Lomachenko keep winning, I feel like man, I've been in there with him too. Like, I know for the fact, I feel like that's gonna be a big fight. Lomachenko ain't going to no 140. If he do, he's crazy. Lomachenko is small, and I feel like that'll be a big fight too.
Some people say he doesn't have power. You sparred him. Like, obviously he's got respectable power, but they don't, you know. What do you think? What do you say about that?
I mean, Lomachenko a great fighter. Like, a lot of people, I feel like out of all the from 135 and down, I feel like Lomachenko is the best fighter from 135 and down, not including myself. But I've been in the ring with him, and I do feel like it's like he overwhelmed you. Like, he's good at overwhelming you. Just like the same thing that I was saying, like with Joel, he throws a lot of combinations. Like, he touches you and he's breaking you down. Like, he's not really no big puncher, but he can get you out of it because, like, a lot of people can't take that type of pressure. Lomachenko will break you down mentally and physically. Like, it's weird.
So, Shakur, what separates you from John Pascal, Marcus Brown, Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo, Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, where the favorite is expected to win? He's the betting favorite. The promotion is for him. But you can't really pick a win until the fight happens, because the fight happens. How do you not get in those situations when obviously none of those A-sides thought they would be in that situation?
Well, you don't know what they thought. Like, you're not around a fighter every day to know what they think. But I know that I don't ever think about losing. Losing ain't in my brain. Losing ain't in my head. I barely lost, like, from amateurs. Even in the amateurs, like, I won about 50, 60 fights straight before I lost in the Olympic final. Like, I ain't like I don't lose. Like losing when I lost the Olympic fight was I beat myself. I beat myself. Like I ain't gonna give myself no excuses. I beat myself and I beat myself on a split decision. I barely lost. Like losing does not happen for me. That's nothing that I think about. I never thought about losing. Losing ain't happening. Like I don't care about them people in that A situation. You don't know what they was on the training camp. You don't know if they get big head. I never sleep on anybody. I know that I'm about to go in there and fight Joel Gonzalez. I'm looking at Joel Gonzalez like I'm about to fight Chavez Senior. Like that's how I feel. Like I'm about to fight Chavez Senior right now. Like,
I love
and
that.
I gotta be Sweet Pea to beat him. That's how I feel.
Okay. Oh, all right. So, man, all right. We got to ask you about Vito. Can you pronounce his last name? I suck. I'm from New Jersey. Velenicki, man. What's your thoughts on him not going to Top Rank after debuting and signing with PBC and Al Heyman?
I don't know. Like I don't know why. Like what made them do that decision, but. Either way, I'm behind Lil Vito. Like, Lil Vito got his dad behind him also. Like, his dad is a promoter also. So, I feel like they made that decision, and that was a team decision, and that's good for them. Like, I'm happy for them. So.
Now, obviously, you guys have been in the ring. I mean, he's like you said, his dad is GH3. You know him from back in the day. Like, what could you tell us about him that we don't know? Like you said, we haven't seen Tank skills yet because we just seeing his power. You've seen his skills. What can you tell us about Vito?
I feel like Lil Vito a good boxer. I feel like I wouldn't rush him. He's young. Like, he's really young. So, I feel like don't rush him. I feel like he should take his time. But I feel like over the course of time, as he get older and older, I feel like he's going to be a threat to a lot of people if he keeps just working on his craft and getting better and better.
All right. Well, Shakur, man, I got to ask you, I don't know if you get upset about this or not, but you guys are linked. And, his profile is going to build because you guys fought in the amateurs in the Olympics. He's fighting this weekend. Talking, obviously, Robeisy Ramirez. I seen him. I was down in Florida, dude, training in Thurman's gym. What's your thoughts on him coming to America? Because, obviously he's got a defect. It wasn't a given that he would turn pro. What's your thoughts on just everything, him being in America now, him being a professional, signing to your promotional company, and debuting?
Yeah. Honestly, like, I would not get mad at that. I like Robeisy. Like, me and Robeisy was cool before me and him fought. You could tell how much respect Robeisy had before me and him fought. Even after we fought, before he came up to me, he couldn't really talk English, but you could tell he was saying, like, I'm the best person he ever been in the ring with. Like, I got nothing but respect for Robeisy. Robeisy about to surprise a lot of people. People think he's just a regular Cuban. He is not no regular Cuban. That's an exciting Cuban. He wants to go in there and fight. And he's real skillful, so, like, he's another one. He's super skillful. Like, Robeisy a great fighter. I used to look up to Robeisy when I was coming up, because Robeisy was the only person who did what I did when Junior Worlds, Youth Worlds, then the Youth Olympics. And my coach was Cuban. My USA coach, he came from Cuba, so he always used to make me watch Robeisy. I used to look up to Robeisy at that time, and we ended up fighting. He barely beat me, but I went to nothing but success. But I promise, I swear to God on my life, if we ever get that rematch, I'm gonna crush him. I can't wait. I'm gonna crush him. I swear on my life.
Now, what makes you so sure?
I can't wait for Top Rank to bring that up.
What makes you so sure? Because let me just add in a few things, right? Like, obviously, he's older than you, so he's probably got his man. Probably. I'm not leaning toward that. I'm just throwing it out there for argument's sake, right? Like, he's probably got his man strength, and he's had more amateur fights than you, so he's got that experience. And like you said, he's not traditional Cuban.
Then you want me to tell you what make me so sure? What make me so sure? I know I'm special. Anybody that I ever got in the ring with, and then I fight you again, or anybody I spar, if I spar you again, I figured you out. Like, my brain, I don't know, it worked weird. I figured you out. Like I got everything. I don't watch that fight with me and him 1,000 times. Like probably more than 1,000. Like I don't watch that. I watch that fight so much. I figured him out. I know everything that he's gonna do. I know his weaknesses. I know a lot about Robeisy. Like I understand now. Like what I got going there to do, how to beat him. I'm a lot more developed than I was when I fought him when I was like 18, 19 years old. Like I'm not that same fighter no more. I'm stronger. I'm a lot bigger. I know a lot more. I've been in the ring with these pros, and I just know that if I fight him again, I know that it's gonna be a whole different story. I figured him out. I got him. I'm telling you, I know I got him.
All right. Well, obviously,
I feel like his coach.
Go ahead.
His coach know that too, though. His coach, I just seen an interview with his coach saying like, yeah, we know. Steve was saying he got a lot better. We're going to take our time and we're going to try to adjust to the pros first before anything. And that's the smartest thing they can do. They need to get as much experience as possible before they even think about ever taking the ring with me.
Yo, I love your confidence, man. I can't wait, man. When do we get an official announcement or a press conference? And can you give us a hint? Are you bringing it back to Prudential Center? Is it going to be Madison Square? Is it East Coast?
Man, we coming back to Prudential.
Ooh.
We bring that type of look.
Wow. What's the capacity in the Prudential Center? Because I seen Thomas Adamek have that thing full of red and white.
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it was like 18 or 19,000 or something. But I know we need more people. We're gonna have to promote this event a lot better. I think I'm gonna try to make sure I do my own little thing and come on it also. So I'm gonna make sure there's a lot more people that's in there this time than last time.
Yeah, man. Well, Shakur, man, don't want to take...
Whoa.
Sorry.
Yo, Shakur, man, before I let you go, I would be remiss if I did not ask you. I got a guy, man. He's a listener, faithful known saying he's part of our Patreon. He keep asking me about when Shakur gonna play me in that 2K. And I told him next time I have you on, I would ask you. So if I get his gamer tag and he want to challenge you in that 2K, would you accept the challenge?
Y'all got my number. Send me the gamer tag. My game on right now. I'll go play home never.
Already. I bet. Go ahead and give out any social media you want to give out before we let you go, big dog.
So confident.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Shakur Stevenson. Keep tuning in. I'll be the next superstar in America.
Man. You damn right.
Man, thank you for coming on, Shakur. We appreciate your time, brother.
All right, thank you. No problem.
All right. Man, that was a great interview. That dude, man, he makes me super happy, bro. I'm telling you, man. Because how many times do we sit here, show off the show, and tell these dudes to talk and act like that? He know he good, and he telling you, he called out Tank essentially, bro. That was beautiful.
That's my big fight. I thought he might have said Ryan Garcia, but Ryan just started at 135, so. Oh man, this is Ryan.
Not only that though, like he didn't go traditional money first.
Black versus Mexican. Yeah,
exactly. He ain't thinking money. He thinking what is it that the fans are gonna think.
Lomachenko too.
And that's why he said, "Yo, y'all gonna be talking about that like y'all talking about Earl and Crawford." Oh man, yo, and the way he sound, I can imagine them little arguments between him and Crawford, man, because they play everything together.
Oh yeah, they probably ultra competitive with each other.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man. All right, so
go ahead and move on to this quick little card right quick coming on ESPN Plus. Carl Frampton is out. He got an injury, so moving into the main event is Jason Sosa versus Haskell Lydell Rhodes. Don't ask me. I don't know who Lydell Rhodes. Do you know who Lydell is?
Yeah. If you Google him, he's a journeyman. He's fought a bunch of people, and he's got a couple of wins.
Okay, also on that card, we got Edgar Berlanga versus Gregory Trenel. Robeisy Ramirez, the debut of the Cuban highly decorated amateur sensation. I mean, two-time gold medalist, whatever you want to call him. He is making his debut here in Philly on this card, so he will be facing Adan Gonzales in a featherweight fight. So he is at 126, right along with Shakur Stevenson. Also, we got Paul Crow versus Shanard Bunch in a welterweight fight.
Cameron, how you doing? That's the goods with the boxing voice.
Hey, meet yourself. We got Donald Smith about to fighting Raham Abdullah. And we got Sonny Conto back in action, the heavyweight that Bob Arum signed. You know what I'm saying? That he got a lot of. Look, he's giving them a lot of fights, so big ups to him. Go ahead.
All right, Mike, sorry to interrupt you. We do have Cameron Duncan on the line of Now Boxing Promotions. Cameron, when you and I met, you were a manager, so you have done a transition from manager to promoter, so we would love that story. But first and foremost, I want to thank you for taking out the time to come on the show and obviously, talk a little bit of boxing with us. We always appreciate anyone in the industry's time. And, yeah, man, just how are you overall? And thanks again.
I'm good, and thank you for having me. Everything's good, and it's taken a while and a lot of hard work, but starting to get things up and running now finally.
Well, for those new boxing fans that may not know the level of talent that you have for finding talent, you have managed the likes of Timothy Bradley, Terrence Crawford, Mikey Garcia, just to name a few. Those are the ones that I can remember. I know right now you have Jaron
Kelly
Boots.
Pavlik.
Yep, Kelly Pavlik. And I know right now you have Jaron Boots Ennis. But, it's hard for these boxing fans to put a face to the voice because, managers are in the dark. Not you, obviously, but some really don't do interviews. But I do want to give them at least a little bit of awareness of how good you are at your job.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've been involved with about 35 world champions through the years. I've been doing this a long time, and I decided to make a move over to working in the promotional end. And, it's been tough, but starting to get it up and going now, and I've got a lot of great talent. I have some tremendous young fighters.
And you're going to be having a card with a couple of your fighters on Showtime, on ShowBox, if you want to give us any information on that. I know Jaron Boots Ennis is back on that card in Oklahoma, as well as Brandon Lee. If you want to talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, I just, I sat down with Showtime, and I talked to them, and they're just really great people. And, Espinosa's, terrific. And so we had a long talk, and he didn't have something right away to get these guys on TV. They're going to be on TV in, a month later or even 3 weeks later. So, he's getting them going. And so we had to fight him off TV, but he was nice to give us a couple of spots on this show. So it's in Oklahoma on the 23rd of this month. It's a ShowBox date, and, my guys are fighting off TV, but then they're right back on TV in a short period of time. So it'd be good to get Boots going. He was pretty red hot at the time, and I want to get him going again. And Brandon Lee is a sensational talent, and we're just now breaking him out, and people get to see him, and they're going to fall in love with him. He's just a terrific fighter.
So you've been around for quite some time, so if you could just, for me and my co-hosts and the listeners, let us know some of the transitions that you have witnessed or are feeling from traditional premier boxing channels like HBO and Showtime to now terrestrial television, streaming apps. Like, how is this affected you, and how is this benefiting you now since you've watched like all of this just come into fruition?
Well, the business, you've been around a while. The business is really changed, and there's different. For everything that closes, there's a door that opens, and there's an opportunity. So, there's a lot of things going on that weren't going on 10, 15 years ago, and and it's different. But I think the main thing is to get your products and get your fighters out in front of people. And first thing, you've got to have talent. You got to have guys that can really fight. And because no matter who you are, you can build up records and you can, take great pictures of them and everything. But when they get in that ring, that's what it's all about. So got to find guys that can really fight, and there's a lot of opportunities for guys now. They're making more money now than they've ever made. And, so I think the main thing is to, thanks to, Espinosa and stuff, Stephen giving us such an opportunity, getting my guys on television, letting them be seen, and, giving them a place so that the public can see them. And then from there, you have different things. You have apps and pay-per-view and a lot of different ways to go after that. But the main thing, I think, guys, is to get them on television.
But the possibilities become...
How's it going, Mr. Duncan? Michael Gross here. I wanted to ask you, is there any way that we can convince Showtime to possibly stream that Jaron Ennis and Brandon Lee fight? I'm looking at Brandon Lee's record. He's 14-0 and I believe 13 knockouts. And Jaron Ennis had a good buzz about him last year on Showbox that built up a lot of fanfare, in my opinion. So is there any way that we can get this fight to be streamed, possibly to the Twitter or YouTube page?
No, they're not going to do it on this one, and we talked about that, but they're not going to do that. But like I said, you're going to see, Brandon, he's going to be on Showbox in a few weeks after this fight, and then you're going to see Boots, and Boots is going to be on Showtime, and about a month after this. So they're going to be right back on television. And this was just something where, Stephen gave me an opportunity to put them on right away. He said, do you want to wait and just wait and put them on the TV fights, or do you want to do this? And, he's spending quite a bit of money putting these kids on off TV, and we're very appreciative of that. And they both need to fight. So I decided, and they decided to go ahead and fight. But they'll be right back on television, and everyone will get to see.
How soon can we see Boots in maybe not a championship bout, but a title contender bout, maybe a eliminator bout, maybe later on this year, or is that off the table until next year?
It's going to be next year. I don't see him. We have him scheduled right now for this fight and then another fight right after this. And I'm going to talk to Stephen about maybe getting him on and before the end of the year. He may not make it, but he'll definitely fight right after the first of the year if he doesn't fight there. And we're going to go fast. He wants to fight so bad, and he wants to fight real fights, and he wants to go. And so you're going to see him move very, very quickly. Some of the other guys, are going to move a little slower, but they're going to be on TV quite a bit. So, everybody's going to get to, that knows boxing, they're going to know who these guys are.
So, Cameron, there was some interest from Dazn, from what I believe, for Ennis. Did anyone ever contact you, or was those offers not good enough? Because obviously they're in need, and so is Top Rank, in need of welterweights. And Ennis is a welterweight.
He is a welterweight. I spoke with everyone just about, and me and Bosie, his father, we decided this was the best way to go, and it's going to keep him on TV, and it's going to keep him active, and he's going to be seen, and we thought that was the best way to go right now. He just turned 22 years old, in end of June.
What?
He's still a baby.
I totally forgot he was still that young.
Like
oh
he's
my
27
goodness.
years old. Kid just turned 22, and Brandon just turned 20. And I've got a kid who's I want to talk about for a minute, named Brian Norman. He's 16-0 with 15 knockouts. He's 18 and a half years old. And when you see this cat, you're going to go, where did he come from? He can really fight. And,
what's the weight class?
And so he's 16-0 with 15 knockouts. And these are young kids, and so they haven't fought the greatest opposition, but they were all great amateurs. Brandon won like 16 national titles. And Boots, of course, was, the Olympic alternate. And Brian Norman, he had over 100 fights, and he won, 5 elite title, and all these guys have great backgrounds. So I know what they're going to be, but it's like when I started Pavlik, or I started, Diego Corrales, or any of these guys. Everybody has their doubts. Brother, you guys know that. I mean, no matter what you do, if you bring them tough, if you bring them soft, no matter how you bring them, they're always going to doubt them. But I know what I'm looking at, and I believe in what I see, and these guys are going to be really special fighters, and they're going to be champion of the world, and they're not only going to be champion of the world, I believe they're going to be, in the pound-for-pound list. I really believe that.
So I want to talk about a pound-for-pound guy you dealt with, and because we have a really big Terrence Crawford listenership, so can you tell us how you came across him and just some of the difficulties to get him on TV early on?
Well, I brought Terrence up, me and Brian McIntyre. We brought him up just like these kids have been brought up. Same way, no different. We signed him, and no one was after him, and I think he had one other offer, but it wasn't anybody, famous. It wasn't a big offer. And I was chasing him like crazy because I was nuts. I thought he was going to be a great fighter. And I got with McIntyre, and they went up and sparred for some people to look at him, and I just kept begging them to come with me. And then we finally made a deal. And nobody really talked about him or cared about him. And I would say his name, and nobody cared. And but I knew what he was. So anyway, I just brought him along, and I put him in Iowa, and I put him in York, PA, and some weird places. You look at his record, and I was just getting him fighting. And when he was about 12 or 13-0, I took him to Top Rank, and they started bringing him, giving him, much better fights than I could afford. And then that week we were on the undercard of, an HBO show. And everyone knows the story in boxing, I think, that, the head opponent fell out with a guy fighting Prescott. And they wanted us to step up and fight. And I wasn't real excited about it. Because it was a huge jump up to fight Prescott, but Brian and Terrence said, "Come on, Cameron, you got to let me fight. You got to let me go," and I backed off and let him go, and he destroyed Prescott, and he was on his way. So, it's the same way with these guys. They're going to get their opportunity, and that's what I said earlier. When they get in the ring, man, that's when they do it. I don't do it. Aaron doesn't do it. None of these guys do it. The fighter does it. They gotta step to the plate, and they gotta perform. And I really believe that my guys are going to really perform. I think these guys are as good a fighters as I've ever signed. I think they're going to be, where these other guys were, Bradley and Crawford and Mikey Garcia, Corrales, all these guys that I've worked with. I think they're going to be right there with them, if not ahead of them. They're that good. Boots is unbelievable, and so is Brandon. And that's just two of the guys. I've got about 8 guys like that. Not quite as, maybe as talented, but close, and can really fight. And I can't wait to get them on TV and get them fight and let everybody see them. And I think people are going to really be excited about them. I do.
So I got to ask, I'm not 100% sure if I heard this, while out in the field, or did I read it, but I believe you were quoted saying that you are no longer a manager because the fighter can leave you, so you turn to a promoter. Any truth to that? And if so, explain what's been some of those hardships.
That's not really the reason. The real reason is that, I'm an ego like everyone else, and I want to make decisions, and I want to be in a position of making those decisions. And Aaron makes the right decision, and you certainly know Todd DeBuff makes the right decisions. So it wasn't anything against them. It's just I wanted to make my own decisions.
That you interpreted that all wrong. That was definitely not meant to be taken as anything to do with Top Rank. I mean, just in general, you're no longer a manager, and obviously, I heard that that's because you felt, as a manager, you build the fighter up, and then they can leave you. As a promoter, they can't do that. I could be wrong too.
It's tougher for them to leave you. Yeah. No, that's not the main reason. The main reason was, I want to be, I wanted to sign who I wanted to sign. Look, I took, for instance, Terrence Crawford. When I took him to Top Rank, nobody wanted him. And I had to beg and beg and beg and beg and beg and make deals. And Todd, Todd was always the one who said, you know what, Cameron, they didn't want to sign Pavlik. And so, part of it's my ego. When I see a guy and I want to sign him, I don't want to go beg to get him in, and I want to make decisions with them, on their best behalf. And so, that had a lot to do with it. And I wanted to sort of do it myself and see if I could. And I'm still going to work with those guys. And, you have to work with people. So, I'm willing to work with anybody. And if it's good for the fighter, then it's good for us. Then, we're gonna get paid too. So, I wanted to be a promoter because I wanted to be more active in, being able to sign my own guys and move them the way that I wanted to move them. And, not that they don't do a great job who I was working with. They're the best in the business. But I learned a lot from them, and I believe that I can do it myself with the help of the right people.
So now that you're a promoter, do you feel in retrospect it was the right move, being as though now Showtime is, doing business, Fox is doing business, there's ESPN, you got DAZN, and all these other platforms? Has it made it easier for you?
It's been really hard. It's been really tough. And, because whether you're going and, selling a fighter to a promoter to help you, and take him and promote him, it's no different getting them on television or getting them on shows or whatever. It's tough. it's been about a 3.5-year process. And when I walked away and I didn't have any fighters, and I started signing guys and spent a lot of time and a lot of money and hunting them out and finding them and getting the right guys and getting guys that made sense for me and guys that I, could really care about, guys that were fair and I wanted to work hard for. And I found those guys, and I've got those guys, and it hasn't been easy, no. And there were times I was really, messed up, and you can ask Steve Kim, I was really messed up, and I was like, maybe I made the wrong move, maybe I should have just stayed a manager. But now that I've gone through this far, and my guys are 18-0, 25-0, 22-0, 16-0. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm ready to go to work, guys. I'm ready to get these guys going and get them on TV and start making prominent fights.
So my last question before we wrap up, we got Mauricio Sulaiman scheduled. Are you...
That's a little more important.
No, not at all. Not at all. Actually, we rolled over on them because this is very important for me and interesting, right? So, are you, and I don't mean this in any way a comparison, just simply so that you can visualize it in your mind. So, will you do like a Salida where he deals with Showtime, but he still got some fighters on DAZN, or do you want for new boxing promotions to only be on Showtime or only be on ESPN or only be on whatever platform?
I have an obligation to Steven Espinoza, and I'm going to take him all my best. And, if he can use it, I would love to work with him. If he can't use it, then yeah, I'll work. Like I said, I'll work with anybody.
Beautiful. Cameron, I will love to get you back on. So you have my number. Let's do this regularly, and let's get these guys. Definitely, I want to get Brandon on. We got to, first of all, fix his resume on BoxRec. They're saying 14-0 with 13 KOs, but we'll take it either way. I really want to hear his story when we have more time, because I see he did a Devin Haney, went to Mexico. You got to tell us all about it on the next one. But thank you so much. If you got any social media, give it out at this time for any of our listeners that want to follow the new boxing promotions can do so.
Yeah, it's just now boxingpromotions.com. That's all it is. So I appreciate you putting me on, and hopefully we'll spend a lot of time talking about some great fighters.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Let me duck out and call Mexicali now. Actually, I think
picking up where I left off from that card, we are looking at... Hold on. Damn it, my shit loading back up. But yeah, man, great from Cameron Duncan, Mr. Duncan giving us a little bit of his time. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate that, as always. And once my page loads, here we go. Get to that card. Donald Smith is facing Raheem Abdullah, and Sonny Canto will be facing Guillermo Del Rio. Canto is back, heavyweight prospect from Top Rank. I think it's like his fifth or sixth fight now. They're moving him pretty, well, not fast, but keeping him active and busy, so I'm glad to see him back. Jeremy Adamo versus Fernando Robles in a 4-round junior featherweight fight. So I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not going to be honest with you. I might check out the undercards. I might not, because this card kind of threw me for a loop when they dropped off Carl Frampton due to his injury, but it is what it is. Number 3, Mauricio Sulaiman interview. That's coming up very, very shortly. And number 4, what I wanted to get to. Adrian Broner says he is the best. Adrian Broner says
all right, ladies and gents, we are back, and we have the president of the WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, on the line live. Mauricio, how are you? First and foremost, thank you for taking out the time, obviously, to come on the show. Secondly, safe travels. Obviously, you got where you were going safely. And yes, man, how are you? Talk to us.
I'm doing great. I need to know, for me to be in this show with you, I have had the honor and pleasure to have done it before. and just very happy to have the opportunity to share the WBC side on some of the important topics and hot topics in the boxing world.
Before I get into it, I do want to say that you're an honorable man because you can choose to avoid these interviews. You know that right now there are some controversial topics, and you never shy away from answering these questions. So, I'm just grateful again for your time and for your candidness, That being said, I guess the first thing the public wants to be further informed on is the WBC franchise champion. We were looking forward to that Jamal Charlo and Canelo Alvarez fight, and this WBC franchise champion allows Canelo not to have to face Jamal Charlo. So we just kind of want to know why you let that happen.
Not necessarily. All to the contrary. This, I will explain the franchise tag in a moment, but regarding Charlo, this is a step that perfectly opens the opportunity to have Charlo and Canelo meet in the ring and do it when the time is right and do it so the industry together can continue to grow. Now let me explain the franchise situation. It is not a new title. It is not a new belt. It is not a new championship. It is simply a status given to a very specific situation to a fighter who is of the elite and under the specific circumstances that we explained in the news release. Canelo has been affiliated to the WBC for 12 years. Canelo has won multiple championships in different divisions. Canelo is without a doubt a driving force of the sports, of the industry. What he is willing to do is a unified champion, and what we all must do is to make sure that the best fights are given to the fans at all times, and that the rules that work to make boxing better also do not get in the way of unified champions to have to lose that unified status. To make it a little bit more clear, Canelo Alvarez is fighting in a variety of weight divisions. He has a very important contract that he has to comply with a network, which is Dazn, and that demands to have great fights. In order to allow the industry to grow, in order to allow Canelo, he wanted to fight Kovalev, 175. He had several names in 168. He had several opportunities in 160. So the WBC had been thinking for several years about a way to maximize and to give a specific branding to that fighter that drives the sport at the time. And the Canelo situation was approved, and he accepted it, his promoter accepted it, and he is franchise champion, meaning that he can fight in any weight division, the opponent to be approved by the WBC, and he will always represent the WBC when he enters the ring. He will eventually fight the Charlos. He will eventually fight a Triple G third fight. He will eventually fight any other champion in any other division. So this was a move. I kindly request the fans and the press to allow this to unfold and to see what happens in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years. We feel very good about it. It is not something that is going to happen in any weight division, and now there will be all franchise and confusion. It's all to the contrary. But let us start to show in real time, and we'll see. We can discuss it later.
So everyone's fear is that will there now become a WBC franchise champion per division, ultimately making you brother and sister with the WBA super title, WBA regular title, WBA interim title, WBA gold title?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We were clear when there was a confusion about the silver championship and the name world title, world silver. We made clear the word world was taken off. The silver championship is like minor leagues in the major leagues, like in the Division 3. So it is just a matter, we want this to be as clear as possible. There will not be a wide variety of franchise champions. It is very limited to very special and specific situations.
How's it going, Mr. Suleiman? Michael Gross here. My first question for you is, Dillian Whyte, we all know he had a adverse finding or a failed test when UCAD did a drug test on him. But when it comes to VADA, he passed his pre-fight and post-fight VADA test. Why did the WBC feel like they should step in and suspend Dillian Whyte until everything comes out?
This is of course, a very delicate situation, highly litigious. It's all being handled by the lawyers of all the parties. What happened was, and it's a fact, there was an adverse finding by UCAD, which was reported to the British Boxing Board of Control and to the promoter of Dillian Whyte prior to the fight. They had their own resource and their own meeting and their own decision, and the fight took place. The WBC was not notified, and the opponent, Rivas, was not notified. The fight took place. Then it was a public statement that there had been an adverse finding. The WBC has its own rules and regulations. We have our constitution, we have our protocols, and those absolutely deal with anti-doping situations. So we contacted the British Boxing Board of Control and Matchroom and Dillian Whyte camp, and we did not receive response, and were responded that this is a situation that has to be handled by UCAD. The WBC did not suspend Dillian Whyte. We suspended the recognition of interim champion and mandatory challenger until the WBC can do its own protocol and investigation of the situation and has a final resolution. So we do not suspend the fighter. We suspend the recognition of what happened in that fight under those circumstances.
Did the British Boxing Board of Control give you a reason why they let the fight continue?
No. They have been extremely clear that everything is confidential and that everything is being handled internally by the United Kingdom anti-doping program. Everything is within the communications that are strictly handled by the parties. We are currently addressing this delicate matter, but that has been our position. We have zero information, and we cannot simply sit down and wait to see what happens, because there is an issue that happened. So while the WBC cannot make an investigation and do not have information to make a ruling, that's why we suspended provisionally until it is clear, and until we make a final ruling, we suspend the recognition as an interim champion and mandatory challenger, but we did not suspend them as a fighter, and we are not taking any action against Dillian Whyte because he deserves the process of a good process that we all deserve. And we're being consistent with the clean boxing program, and It is as simple as the process is under investigation.
Does this give the WBC any reason to like have reservations on the upcoming August 31st fight with Lomachenko and Luke Campbell?
Well, we have contacted the British Boxing Board of Control regarding the gloves selection and the situation of the gloves that are going to be used by both fighters or all fighters in the card. There's 2 championship fights. And we have also looking into what is going to be the anti-doping protocol regarding these 2 important title fights in the UK on the 31st.
And when you say protocol, what exactly do you mean? You mean pre and post? Because, I mean, they already, didn't they sign up for VADA?
Let me explain how anti-doping works in the world. The World Boxing Council and every institution respects the autonomy and authority of the local boxing commission where every fight takes place. And from commission to commission or federation, it varies on the local procedures. For the WBC, it is mandatory to have an after-the-fight anti-doping test. That is the mandatory for all title fights. If the fight is in Florida, if the fight is in New York, if it's in Las Vegas, in Japan, in Philippines, we have to contact the local jurisdiction to make sure there is going to be testing and to make sure who is going to do the test. Regarding the clean boxing program and our VADA association to run the clean boxing program, it has 2 modes, 2 modalities. The out of competition random, which is a selection that VADA does randomly of which fighters are tested throughout the year. And there's also fights that are contracted by the promoters to have out of competition testing. So we are looking into this to understand what has been agreed. Both fighters are enrolled in the clean boxing program, and it is a matter to understand if there will be out of competition testing from VADA or not. But after the fight, there will be an anti-doping test performed.
Let me preface this question by saying I know that he is not a fighter, but will Eddie Hearn be reprimanded or fined by the WBC for not notifying Oscar Rivas that his fighter failed a drug test during a WBC sanctioned fight?
As I mentioned, everything is in a process right now. There are so many uncertainties, so many situations to be reviewed, investigated, clarified. So it would be responsible for me to answer this question at this time because there's many things that we need to find out in order to have a specific understanding of what transpired. But we will certainly continue to look into this matter, and we'll keep it informing the media of what is going on.
First and foremost, I want to say that I'm happy you stepped in and suspended the recognition of the mandatory. Regardless of the finding, I feel that it didn't feel morally right for a fighter to test positive, have a hearing the day of the fight, and the other party not be notified. There was the issue with the glove selection, which you're going to go through again because it was rival gloves with Russ Abner, and Russ Abner is going to be in the same corner of Lomachenko again with the same rival gloves. So Dillian didn't come into the ring with those rival gloves that were approved, though. That was the issue. So because of all those weird anomalies, I feel like it was right. Even Oscar Rivas, I mean, he should feel cheated. I don't know. And I think the WBC, right? Are you not upset or at least disappointed that Eddie didn't contact you and tell you, like, didn't you feel you had the right to pull the sanction like you have at last minute pulled sanctions on certain bouts because weird situations? So, like, don't you feel slighted that you weren't able to kind of step away from the shame of this fight? Because now you're involved.
Oh, it's very sensitive. The fight took place. There was a winner. Everything seemed great. And then 2-3 days later, pops with this news. So it is a very complex matter. I do not want to speculate. We rather continue the process and the investigation. And boxing needs to get to the current times and understand the great responsibility that we all have and that we all owe to the safety of the boxers, but also to the justice of everyone. So let's see what happens. Hopefully this will take a short period of time, doesn't prolong too long. And we are on top of it every day, looking into it. Boxing is in a great era, but we have to step up and protect this great sport, because if we don't do the right things, it is very easy that this bubble can burst and go back to what it was a few years ago. We are in a great moment, great fights, great platforms, great champions, and we have to continue to grow the sport.
So, have you had a chance to see Eddie Hearn and his video where he says he doesn't understand why the WBC stepped in if Dillian passed all VADA tests and the fight was under UCAD? What does that mean? Because obviously you guys are not a commission, so does it matter that it was UCAD, and does he have a right in saying that you shouldn't have suspended the status of Dillian Whyte, interim belt and mandatory status?
No, I have not seen the media, but we only rely on facts. We rely on direct communications, official communications between the parties. And Eddie, he may have his theory and his procedure, and he's facing the rules and laws of where the fight took place. We have our position because it was a WBC sanctioned bout. So we will look into the specifics, and then we will see what is determined. But I think every position is clear. We just have to stay on top and get to the bottom and make the best out of our problem, and have everybody understand that boxing is not like it is featured in some movies in a dark room. This is a great example on how boxing is trying to look at all times for the safety. This thing is not going unnoticed. It's being addressed, and we are just working on it. And I'm not going to go into any speculations or back and forth comments with any party. We're just doing what is right. We're going to lead by whatever is factual, and we're going to rule with whatever happened and according to the protocol and the rules and regulations.
So, fast forward, Dillian Whyte, UCAD finds him innocent. Does he automatically become mandatory again and reinstated? And then does that get called? How does that work? Or does he lose his position, and does the next person in line get that status?
No, we have to go through the process, and as I explained, we have our own process for anti-doping, and we have requested information so we can analyze and make a determination. It might or might not be based on UCAD's findings. It usually is, but we're just requesting the information so we can do our own protocol. And as I said, I prefer not to speculate anything, and we'll just wait to see what are the facts and what are the results of our own ruling.
So I wanted to ask you one last one. Hold on, Mike. I just want to ask one last one. I don't know if you've heard the media or industry rumor that, again, I haven't found an article, right? But there obviously are some high-paid reporters tweeting about this stuff of Premier Boxing Champions denouncing the recognition of the WBO. Have you heard any of this?
No, I have not heard that.
Would that surprise you?
I was on vacation with my family for a couple of weeks, so I didn't have the look. But I don't follow the gossip, and I don't follow. I like to go by what is factual. I don't understand, and I'm not aware of what you are discussing.
I mean, would it surprise you, though?
What is it that somebody who is not they're not recognizing? Well,
I'll give you some examples.
I haven't heard from that.
I'll give you some examples, right? So on PBC promoted shows on Fox, they showed all the welterweight champions, the WBC champion, the IBF, the WBA, but not the WBO. When Andy Ruiz won the heavyweight title from Joshua, he won all 4 belts, the IBO, IBF, WBA, and the WBO. When he came on the PBC promoted show, he only brought the 2, WBA, WBA, and the IBF. And on the television, they also put it like that, the IBF WBA champion. When the pay-per-view for Thurman and Pacquiao happened, they showed all the welterweight champions minus the WBO champion, Terrence Crawford. If you go through the rankings in the WBO, there's only 2 fighters that are visible that are PBC fighters, and that's in the welterweight division that I can notice, which are Sergey Lipinets and Danny Garcia. Other than that, it's hard to find a PBC promoted fighter or PBC televised fighter in the WBO rankings.
Well, that's a matter for that organization to deal with. I can only respond, and I can only comment on WBC matters. That's what I can say.
Just curious.
My last question is, what is going to be in the personal conduct policy next year when it comes to the WBC? What kind of rules and stipulations? Is what happened with Dillian Whyte going to be something that we can expect to see in that policy?
Well, we have revised, and we're going to present at the annual convention the code of ethics for the sport. And boxing is a very important sport. Most fighters are honorable and have a deep sense of social responsibility. And what we want to see is athletes that can represent the sport, that can lead the masses, that can be role models for the kids. That's what boxing should be all about. And what we intend is to continue working to have safe boxing, clean boxing, and to have the fights take place inside the ring. That's what everything should be about. And it takes everyone to get involved in that, from the boxers, the trainers, the managers, promoters, matchmakers, media, fans. It's just a matter that we all have to work and push forward to make boxing great.
Now, by putting in a policy like this, do you think that it might jeopardize like some of the action that fans get during the build up for fights? Like we may not get the Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and Oscar De La Hoya beef. We may not get what was said between Bermain Stervern and Wilder and their second fight. So could that hurt the sport more than it can help it?
You have a point. There's a line, a very fine line between promoting an event, hyping up an event, and crossing over to irresponsible, to racist or discriminatory attacks, inhuman attacks. It's complicated. And, when you go to the movies, people like to see violence. They like to see blood. They like to see guns. When you go to the video games, you see the same thing. So it's a complicated era that we're living, but there is nothing like an action-packed fight. And that's what it proves. Because how many times have you seen hype actions in a press conference or in a weigh-in, and when the bell rings, the fighters simply stay away from each other. So we should concentrate on what happens inside the ring, and what happens outside the ring, in a way, should be regulated not to cross over something that is not appropriate.
Absolutely. Well, that was my last question. I don't know if Ness has anything else, but before we let you go, I just want to thank you again. Thank you again, you and the WBC and the Boxing Adaptive Program for donating me that wheelchair. I do appreciate it. So whenever I receive it, I will put it to great use. Thank you again.
I'm actually not done.
Well, you're.
Yeah, that's Michael.
Yes. I wanted to once again praise you. You are a motivation to us. The program that we are working very hard to continue to grow the adaptive boxing, and when we get to meet someone like you who ratifies the importance of what we do, and I'm just thrilled, and I promise that I will be there when you use your special chair, and you make us proud.
Wow. Talk about putting pressure on a person. Thank you so much, though. I do appreciate it.
But Mauricio, before I let you go, I guess my last one is Devin Haney's going up for a WBC eliminator, and I just want to make sure Vasil isn't going to become a franchise champ.
Who?
Devin Haney's going to be going in for a WBC. Wow, why are you saying no? He is. I got the email in front of me.
Are you sure it's WBC, not IBF?
Oh, yeah.
It's Devin Haney. He's fighting
Abdulayev.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah, he's fighting September 13 in New York for the WBC final elimination. And Lomachenko is fighting Campbell for the vacant lightweight title on August 31st.
And all I'm saying is Vasil going to be then made a super champion so that he could go fight Mikey or somebody and not fight Devin Haney?
I mean, the guidelines for the franchise champion are clear. And as I say, the speculation makes people get very anxious. Let them fight. Let's see. You don't even know who's going to win in both fights. The fight between Lomachenko and Campbell is for the vacant title. The winner has the commitment to comply as per the rules. This is a very awkward situation in which a champion of other organization is fighting as a co-challenger for a vacant title, which we are very proud and honored to receive Lomachenko to fight Campbell. And it just let's wait and see a great fight, and then Haney, who is an upcoming rising star. He's young. He's building up a career, but he's been very anxious, and he reads social media and gets his head warming up and starts blowing up. Let's see what happens in the ring, and then he's building a great career. He's got great potential to be a superstar.
All right, this is the last one. The thing is that, you're full of answers because, your organization is so big and it's just synonymous with boxing. So you were speaking of pumping the brakes and watching what happens in the ring. What were your thoughts on Pascal upsetting Marcus Brown? And now Pascal's what is Pascal now? Your silver or interim champion?
He's a silver champion. And it was wow, what a performance. Brown was clearly ahead. He was winning, and then exchange of punches, and he goes down. Comes back, continues to dominate the fight, exchange punches, and goes down again at the end of the round. What a dramatic fight, which shows punching power on one side, quality boxing on the other, and then a accidental clash of heads, end the fight prematurely with a partial round being scored, which is the rule, which is perfectly correct, and that part of that round was the decisive factor in favor of Pascal. This is what boxing is all about. When you have the punching power, and you can stand there and connect. This is what happens. I think it was very exciting. Unfortunately, it was not conclusive like Travell and Adan Gonzales a few months ago. But I really enjoyed that fight as a fan.
All right, I know I said that was the last. This is honestly the last. I'm crossing my heart, hope to die. There's no way Wilder's going to become a WBC franchise champ, right? Because for the UK fans, they really want to see Dillian Whyte fight Wilder. They got this hashtag 600 days thing going on. They're claiming it's take him 600 days to be the man. Like, I'm praying that he comes back clean so that we can get that fight. There's no way Wilder becomes a super champion, right?
But we don't have a super champion.
I mean, well, you see, and that's the issue right there. Franchise champion is kind of identical to the WBA super champion that doesn't get mandatories, But I meant that in no disrespect. So, okay, the franchise champion.
The franchise champion, as I explained, I will be happy to send you the guidelines, and hopefully you can read them in your program. It has certain provisions. I cannot say that Wilder will or will not request to be a franchise champion. What I can say is that he's been 5 years champion, 10 title defenses. He's fighting the best of the best. He has been a victim of the clean boxing program, so it's a good victim. His fights with Povetkin fell off. His fight with Ortiz, the first one fell off. He had two other opponents fell off to adverse findings, and now Dillian Whyte. But as I say, Dillian Whyte case is being under revision right now. So I will not speculate. I know Wilder is defending his title against Ortiz in a great rematch. It is highly probable that if Fury and Wilder win both, there will be a rematch. So there's a lot of action going on. So it would be kind of dumb to start thinking of what could happen in 8 months and start having people saying, oh, he's going to be franchise. Let's concentrate on the good things that are coming. Let's let Dillian Whyte prove his innocence. He is cleared. He is mandatory. It's cleared. He is the interim champion, and we have a specific agreement with Dillian Whyte for when the time is for his mandatory.
All right. Well, that's it. Don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so much, obviously, for the time. We always appreciate you coming on and definitely educating us. If you feel like talking about October and Mexico and the grand resort that you're going to hold the convention, is it open to the public or is this, I don't know what you can and can't say about that, right?
What's the location again?
Yeah, the WBC convention is the greatest meeting of the year of the boxing world. It's completely open to the public, open to the fans, to the press, to everybody. We have the ratings meeting open to the public. We have the mandatories open to the public, and that's when the promoters, managers meet and they present the case in front of the board. So there's no closed room, closed door decisions made. Everything is very clear and transparent. In fact, I would love for both of you to be in Cancun on October so you can witness what a WBC convention is.
I would love to be there. I've been looking into it to see if it's financially feasible. So we will see. But I see the hotel. Tell us about the hotel.
What's the date again?
It's actually
it's the Grand
it's extended. Your dates are extended. I got an email today saying that the dates were extended from the 26th to the November 9th.
For the hotel rate, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Basically, this hotel is all-inclusive. The service is impeccable, very good food, good drinks for those who like to have a beer or two, some tequila, beautiful beach, lots of restaurants, nice pools. And during the convention, there will be many, many champions. We're going to have Adonis Stevenson come down to render a homage to this hero who has survived. We're going to have a specific homage to Julio Cesar Chavez, to some of the other great heroes of the sport. There will be plenty of surprises, and between the hard work and the important decisions, there's also lots of fun. And that's where the family of the world meet, and there's many beautiful stories that happen. We visit the Children's Hospital with WBC Cares, and there's just lots of things happening. I will be very, very happy if we can make it there.
Well, we're definitely going to try. I want to thank you again. Obviously, you can give any social media you want to give at this time, and we appreciate you obviously taking out the time once again to come on the show. I know you just finished traveling as well, so I just thank you again. Really appreciate you always coming on.
Definitely do.
And here, and if all those present would like to follow the WBC, we are in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at WBC Boxing. And my personal account is WBC MORO. Moro. Okay?
All right. Well, thank you, and have a good night.
Now, you were saying like November.
Good night. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, the dates are extended for the rates, right? So it's going to be from October 15th to November 3rd, but the convention is from the 20th to the 26th. So what the hotel is doing, like if you want to get there a little earlier, you want to stay a little longer, you still get those WBC discounted rates, but they just extended it because, I mean, look, it was popping when they did it in Miami. I told you this morning, I was a little jealous. I seen Danny and, Wilder. Everybody was there. Imagine. And it's dope because it's Cancun, so it's all inclusive. You pay for the hotel, it comes with the food, it comes with the liquor. Everything is included. The only problem I'm going to have is because Mexico's super cheap. I wouldn't even have an issue with it. But I normally get my packages together, flight and hotel. So now you got to buy the hotel and then buy your flight. Normally a flight anywhere is $450 unless you package in it. So if I can make it happen, I'm going to definitely go. The issue is I'm going to have to talk to him to see if there's how's the internet, bro, because I cannot take that trip.
No,
and the
not
internet
work.
is not good because I gotta make the money. There's going to be hella interviews out there.
On that AB shit real quick, Regis Prograis came out on his social media and really had a video on IG and left some words on Twitter for AB. So
let me go get that then. Let me say that.
Let me get to these notes right quick while you pulling that up. A New Wave versus Nonito Donaire finalized November 7th in Japan. Talking about some home
Damn,
cooking.
that's the first thing popped up on my feed. Okay, Prograis. Yo, the first thing I just typed in Instagram was like, bloop. Hold on, let's play this, man.
Okay.
So I see Adrian Broner talking shit again. Fucking, he gonna beat me, I'm garbage and all that bullshit. Adrian, you're a fucking clown, first off. Nobody take you serious in the boxing world. You shit water. You call me garbage, well, you below me, you shit water. And you ain't win a fight since Adrian Bernardo. And bitch, you barely won that. Look, talking all that shit, I'm gonna take care of my business first, what I gotta do. Then bitch, I wanna see you. Don't talk about you about to retire and all that shit, you want a brick and all that. No, bitch, you call me out, I want my round first. So I see Adrian Broner
Is it
talking
two
shit,
of them? Because it stopped like
Fuck,
that.
I'm garbage and all that bullshit.
I guess it just stopped. But he said, nigga, if I'm garbage, boy, you shit water.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
But this is the thing. That's why I put it in the title. Broner lying. He not going to fight this dude.
No, he's not going to fight Regis. He'll
now,
fight
Jose
Ramirez.
Let me tell you, though. It could happen.
You think so?
No, like, I don't mean it could happen like it could happen. I mean, like, it could happen because there's certain things that are there. Like, Regis is with Lou, so he's not tied to nobody, right? At least Lou knows Al. Don't seem like they fucking with each other, but he knows him, right?
Mm-hmm. Lou know Eddie, too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Broner not with Eddie.
I know.
And, yeah, you could – look, I think Regis – obviously, Regis' smartest move is go to Top Rank if he can win the World Boxing Super Series. But if Luke could get you that quick pay-per-view, you know, put your two belts on the line versus Broner, I mean, I watch it because I know he going to try to beat Broner up. Everybody else is trying to win. He going to try and beat Broner up.
Yeah, he going to try to knock him out.
Yeah.
Chavez Jr. will face Colombian Elvert Bravo this Saturday. Don't ask me what that fight is because I do not know.
Yeah, it's in Mexico, but there's no TV.
It is on TV.
What TV?
Azteca TV.
For the U.S. or Azteca Mexico? Because last I checked, there wasn't no TV. Right. We was talking about this the other day.
I'm sure motherfucker says it's Azteca. It'll be on YouTube or it'll be streamed live.
I got Azteca TV here. You know, I pay extra for that. It's like $15 for the fucking Mexican package. You know.
What?
To get all Spanish channels though.
Oh, okay, all of them.
Mad more Spanish channels.
What the Azteca HBO or something?
I get Azteca, BN Sports, all that. But now boxing ain't even really on BN Sports. They getting the old Telemundo shit. Yeah. Damn, Regis came out. He only got 8,000 views on it though. Let's see if Broner really wanted, Broner will use this. You know the way he be talking about Thurman. He'll be like, "What motherfucker? Hey, this nigga Prograis."
And hopefully one of these celebrities that like boxing that know Broner.
Like 50. Hopefully 50 reposted like, "Yo, Broner, you better watch your mouth.
Watch your back, man." We got one from Jerron Ennis faces Brandon Lee. August 23rd, quick turnaround, but Brandon Lee's undefeated, 14 fights, 13 KO. So and he said he was like a 16-time national champion too. So, all right. Frank Warren says he made a big offer, huge offer, to Leo Santa Cruz to fight Josh Warrington, but he also said he made a big offer to Callum Smith, but leave it to Eddie Hearn said that offer wasn't big at all. Well, we already said that. Jose Pedraza to make his debut at 140 on September 21st. Jose just keep on moving up in levels, man. Got a title at 130, 135, not trying to get another belt at 140. I'm happy for him.
Pedraza, I told you he just moved up. Let me screen shit. And it's hard for me to move around all the bullshit that come with this life. And I bottle up my feelings because ain't nobody real when you get to this stage. Everybody playing a role. So that's why I lash out sometimes. But I'm Gucci. P.S. I'm not hanging up the gloves. My babies begged me not to, because they told me I'm the best. If I don't believe nobody, I gotta believe in them. They all I got. Heart emoji. And this is Adrian Broner. And
you know, one time when my daughter was like 3 years old, she told me that she was a butterfly. Did I believe her?
No, you didn't.
All right.
And I'm just saying that's why I titled the show what I titled the show, bro. Because this dude stayed lying. Matter of fact, let me go to this right here. Look, this is exactly why I use this, too.
Yo, you like bashing Broner, though,
nah,
man.
Check out the thumbnail. Check out the thumbnail. Adrian Broner makes history, baby. He made history. He retired twice in 2019, bro. This is the second time he retired and unretired. My man made history, champ. Don't nobody do it like AB. AB about retirements. He gonna say, yo, Floyd retired twice, so I retired twice. You know what I'm saying? Every time Floyd retire, I retire.
Nigga said about retirement. What the fuck? We got a couple more, man, before we get done. Lawrence Okoli, 13-0, will face Ives Nagabu, 20-0, with 14 KOs in his next scheduled fight, and they will be fighting for the EBU title. Vito Melanicki makes his PBC debut on 9/28 on guess what card? Guess what card he on? One of the biggest cards this year. Sean Porter versus Errol Spence, or Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, however you want to say it.
And what's that?
Vito will be on that card.
What? Yo, did you watch his video?
No, what video?
Or at least his Instagram on why he signed with PBC. He made a little video and everything. You ain't see that?
Fill us in.
Oh man, let me see if I can find it, bruh. I love that he's doing it like that. It's like a movie for him, man.
What you mean? Well, how's he doing it?
Like, oh, here it goes. Nah, y'all gonna have to see it. Hopefully it don't play whack on the screen share, man.
Definitely will.
So go to Instagram yourself, champion. All right.
What do you say though? What do you say? Like, just lay it out for
all
us.
that shit. I think I could read it, right? Maybe there's one to read. Yeah. Major announcement. My team and I have decided to bring my talent to the highest level and sign a promotional deal with the best in the game at Premier Boxing. I want to thank Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. for believing in me. I want to thank my manager, Anthony Carnazaro, for helping me get in this position. Lastly, I want to thank my family and friends and team for being behind me through everything. Yo, the funny thing is, I told you this dude used to train at Jersey Boys. I didn't know. Like, I know his father. You know, his father's GH3 Promotions. Like, I didn't know he was gonna be like a hit like this. Like, I knew he was good because they talk about him in the gym, but I didn't know he was gonna be like a blue chip signing. But let me see how this sound. Let me see if I can screen.
I mean, is he a blue chip signing?
I mean, he got offers from everybody: DAZN, Top Rank, and PBC.
I know, like I know when you say blue chip, like I'm thinking of talent. But when it comes to him, talent is there. No, don't get me wrong, but I think the buzz and they seen what he did, what he was able to do his first like 7,000. That's good. So I think they're.
But remember that I think it's an article I read. I hit him up to try and get him on the show, but I think it's an article I read that he says they wasn't looking to sign. They did that strategically, Mike.
Okay.
If you read the article, he says, yo, we did what we did because we knew we would have leverage. You know what I'm saying? So they got on that stage to show y'all what they could do. Now, let me see what them offers looking like. You know what I'm saying? Again, his father's GH3. He's promoted dozens of Antoine Douglas and Adam Lopez. I mean, just mad fighters. His father's had mad fighters throughout the time. So his father know what he's doing, and this is his son. Like, he gonna be careful with him. But let me see how bad this will look.
Okay.
So it's a compliment. I've been fighting all my life. Now it's my time. I'm a kid from Jersey, and I plan to be the greatest athlete ever.
Damn!
After being pursued by all the major U.S. promoters, I'm happy to announce I've signed with PBC. The PBC platform offers fighters an opportunity of a lifetime when you pair their cross-promotion and the PBC stable. I just don't want to box. I want to box at the highest level. And that's why my team and I have decided to join the PBC family.
He made that shit a movie, champ. And guess what? Shots fired at Crawford, yo. I don't just want to box. I want to box at the highest level. That's why I chose PBC, and he a welterweight. Oh, yeah. I catch all that shit. I catch all that. Like, yo, he know, like, I don't want to just box. I could just go sign and just be on TV. Nah, I want to challenge myself. I got to get in there with them dudes that are the man. Yo, he gave me chills, yo.
Man,
and then he said Jersey. They ain't like, yo, I'm just a kid from Jersey. Trying to be the best. Let's go, Jersey. Stand up. Come on, man. Why you trying to... I bet you if he was from fucking Memphis or Indiana, you'd be over here fucking doing hula hoops and shit. Come on, bro.
Not even. Not even.
Yo, let's talk about the fact that he chose PBC. He gonna be on Fox, and they doing real good with the other white guy, you know, Caleb Plant. We got to talk about that. You know that shit sells, bro. Yo, look, now you talking about he on the Earl Spence pay-per-view? How big you think he could be, Mike?
Shit, nigga, I don't think he gotta do is win, baby. Like Al Davis would say back in the day, just win, baby. You can be as big as you want to be.
I wonder if they're gonna top rank him though. I mean, they don't really top rank over there. I want them to top rank him though. You know what I mean by that, right?
What you mean top rank him?
Take him a little slow, man. Take him that Oscar Valdez route. You know? Cause yo, bro, he's already a welter, right? And he's 17. So if you rush him, he's gonna be fighting grown men in the welterweight division. Too soon. He's 17. You know, remember what's Alex Lemon's other kid? We gotta watch out for too, for make some money on when he go up.
Fight again, my nigga.
Gabriel Flores Jr.
Nah, what's the other guy that just lost?
One of Alex Lemon peoples?
Yeah. Coming off this injury. Bicep. He was out for like a year and a half, 2 years.
Man, I can't think of it.
Top rank, man. Andy Vincent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he lost?
Yeah, he lost to man, who he lose to?
Who he lose to? I seen Alex Lemon posting mad marriage pictures of Andy Vincent.
See, he ain't posting damn boxing pictures.
Anyway, we got any other news and notes to get to?
Yeah, we got a couple that I need to hit right quick. Let me see. Dana White hopes to have Zuffa Boxing up and running by October. Kownacki versus Arreola peaks at 1.7.
I got it. Marlon Sims, bro. We ain't talking about Marlon. Shout out to Marlon. He not even on the line, probably running miles. Yo, remember Marlon Sims, the pro boxer? He always calls in. He's got to fight. Yo, that dude's so humble, he didn't even tell us he was fighting this week. That's crazy. He could have did like a whole interview.
He didn't tell us. We just slipped our mind.
Nah, but like he could have been. He's been on the line, bro. He could have just easily been like, "Yo, I'm running him," and then we go into it.
Oh yeah, Albert Bell put them paws on that man last fight.
Who?
Andy Vincent. Real quick, David Haney. Okay, Carissa Shields fights Ivana Bonzon on 10-5 in Flint, and Jose versus Jack Castro has been mandated by the WBO. And Selena Barrios returns with a victory with a first-round KO.
Damn, yo, look at everybody knows him, bruh. That's crazy. When you get in that work as an AMI, look, you go through his comments on that post, Boxing Rail, trainer Tevin Farmer. The Four Corners, second trainer of Chris Colbert. Primetime, Chris Colbert. Javonta. Everlast, who he sponsored with, Verified, also commenting. Oh, that's his mom or somebody, Marie Malekani, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce that. But damn, that's pretty dope, man. That's got to be amazing feeling, right? Yo, that's like Kobe coming out the high school, bro. At 17, that's sweet, man. That's sweet. Now I know what Lemon felt like, but Lemon followed Gabriel way more than I follow Vito, you know?
Yeah, man. It's pretty much like all boxers who don't. Well, not all, because some of them start much later in life. But yeah, if you don't choose to go to the Olympics, man, you're a little B Hop it. You're Vito, Vito it. You're Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? You come out when you're very, very young.
So, in retrospect, we always talk numbers. Prograis posted that video today, got 8,000, going close on 9. Vilecki posted this 3 days ago, is on 6,700. So, Prograis with that.
I mean, you got one guy's a world champion. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm saying. Prograis with that star power. So, that's it? Call us?
That's it.
All right, let's go.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Last time I checked, I was the man on these streets. They call me residue, I leave blow on these beats.
Mr. PBC. Hey, man, PBC looking good. We got the best fighters, man. If you want to be the best, we already know you go to PBC. Motherfucking Anthony Joshua didn't fight Andy Ruiz because he knew he was going to beat him. He fought him because he came out here, truthfully, to have a homecoming coming to America, but he got beat by a bum. And to him, he was a bum. So let's keep it real. And it's a beautiful call, man. Every single interview was good, man. It's crazy. TBV's getting big, big, big. You got every single fighter calling in. I haven't seen a fighter who doesn't call in. Yeah, there's a couple who don't. Anthony Joshua, we already know. Mr. Dazn, get your dude. And that's it, man.
Yo,
and what happened to Mr. Dazn?
He around. He gonna be here. He gonna be here. But
yeah, man, that's my call, really.
All right, champ. Thanks for calling in, brother. Thank you for continuing to support. We're going out to Suleiman, the scholar. What up?
No, I'm saying, look, you got 3 cameras here and 2 cameras
Don't
here.
worry about that. This computer's monitored.
I know. This is cyber safe, they call it. You got to take a course.
No, that's easy to figure out. You just got to show me how to do it.
Goddamn, Suleiman is selling laptops and shit.
Suleiman!
Okay.
Suleiman!
Yeah, how you doing? ¿Cómo están? So I'm calling about the fight. This guy, he was saying all this stuff, and he wants to fight Gervonta Davis. All you gotta do is.
Well, that's good.
Suleiman, what's going on over there, bro?
I was at work, man. I'm listening to the show, and I'm happy that you answered the phone. But what I'm trying to say is that that this fight right there, I don't know what that kid is doing, but if he sees the fight for Gervonta Davis and the kind of power Gervonta Davis generates, he's gonna have a huge problem when he moves up to 130 and decides to face him. It's gonna be an embarrassing loss. I think the best thing he did was sign the top rank because he's fighting minimal opposition, and he's getting a gift by fighting for a vacant 126 pound. What he should do is defend that belt several times and stay in that division, and don't even think about coming up to 130 to Gervonta Davis' division. I don't even think he can handle Cancio. He doesn't have the power to beat Cancio, so I don't know where he's getting that from. It's real nice that you have Mauricio Suleiman on the show, and all the other people, but that kid needs a wake-up call. He's fighting soft opposition. I haven't seen him fight a good opponent yet.
What you mean? Christopher Diaz. Christopher Diaz was a good opponent. Very good opponent.
Yeah, but they're not the kind of caliber. I mean, yeah, they're B-class fighters. They're not the kind of fighters that Gervonta Davis is. And look at the opponents that Gervonta Davis is putting away. He's putting them away very quickly. They will have trouble with those opponents that Gervonta Davis has defeated. So I think he should reconsider stepping in the ring with a guy like Gervonta Davis at this time. Till he unifies a division or something like that to consider himself as a possible opponent.
for Gervonta Davis. I hear a lot of people mentioning like we were super class champions. They shouldn't be doing that. I think that hurts them at the long run because it creates animosity. I think they should be build up their career, stop calling out these fighters, and move on to bigger and better things very slowly. Right now, even Oscar Valdez, I think you have trouble with Oscar Valdez. If Oscar Valdez didn't be like give up the belt, I think you have a hard time with Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez won a fight with a broken jaw. Scott Quigg defeated him. Several other opponents. So I would like to see him fight opponents, build up, and then later on, doing the long one, think about fighting somebody like that. Thank you for giving me the time. I wish that work, and take care.
All right, Suleiman, man, thanks for the call, brother. I always appreciate a fellow listener listening during work, man. Definitely know what it is to need a new podcast while working. So, shout out to you. We're going out to our...
Big up to Suleiman, man. Out here fixing people's laptops and shit.
Going out to our boomeranger.
BoxingVoice.com. It's money to shit. Working that wrist. Ballin' like Swiss. Diamonds wet like a fish. Pull up with them sticks. Come fuck with the clique. We fucked on your bitch. She sucking the dick. I'm whipping the work.
Hey yo, what's going on? It's your boy H Money, Mr. Dazn, the Boxing Voice 2019 Rookie of the Year. And I want to talk about Vergil Ortiz. I mean, he's fighting on Saturday, 13 wins, 13 knockouts, trained by Robert Garcia, a former world champion, the brother of Mikey Garcia, former trainer of the year, Robert Garcia, making world champions left and right with Jose Ramirez, his brother Mikey Garcia, pound for pound fighter in the world. And I want to talk about Devin Haney. Ness, thank you so much for asking the WBC about Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. We all know Devin Haney is fighting September 13th, Mexican holiday weekend, taking over Canelo's date. And we know he's ranked number 1 by the WBC. Why is Lomachenko ducking him? Why doesn't he keep the same energy that he has with Gervonta Davis with Devin Haney? Devin Haney's ranked number 1, the youngest millionaire in boxing, the next Floyd Mayweather. Last time I checked, Devin Haney beat Tank in the sparring match. Outclassed him. And I just want to say thank you, Ness, so much for asking the great questions. Boomerang gang, I'm coming right back like I never left. We're here.
All right. Yo, in terms of the WBC convention, I'm reading more, and there's really affordable rooms. They have multiple hotels, so I'm actually texting them right now to like find out what's the poppin' hotel, right? Like I don't want to be looking into another one and then ain't nobody over there and shit.
Nigga, my birthday like 3 days from the fucking October 29th, so shit.
Yeah, man, we might have to get the Mauricio to fly you out, man, because they taking long on that chair, B.
Yeah, like that. What's up with that motherfucker?
What we got? That was Boomerang. We got Brandon, Cincinnati. Talk to me.
What's going on, Brandon?
What's good, Mike? What's good, Ness? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm still reporting live from TVV jail. Still blocked. Lame ass niggas blocked.
You fix that shit yet?
Because he got it. I need the link. There's no way. You know how many people is blocked for me to go find a Brandon? Like, it is not set up like that. You can't even search by name. I need his channel, and I go to his channel and hit unblock.
Yeah, Brandon never seen that shit, man.
Yeah, I'll do that, man. I ain't tripping, dog. Niggas just doing what's right until they title as internet trolls. But as far as the fight this weekend, I'm not really interested in that many of them. I mean, I want to see the Vergil Ortiz. This is a good, barometer fight for Vergil Ortiz. We can see if he can knock out a young, durable fighter like Orozco, because Ramirez wasn't able to do it. I mean, I do give him credit for doing it against Herrera, but Herrera was old And this cat Orozco is more so in his prime. He's only like 30, 31. So if he can knock him out, he can really make a statement. Shout out to my dog, Shakur Stevenson. You know, he's not only one of my favorite prospects, he's becoming one of my favorite fighters, man. He's just slick. You know, he does everything in the ring well, really doesn't have any weaknesses. Starting to really, you know, put some pop on the punches and stop cats. You know, he's under the right tutelage and instructions. You know, you got my man Bud Crawford over there working with him, so you know he's destined for greatness. So I'm interested to seeing what's his next step going to be. He's saying all the right things. That fight with Joel Gonzalez will really be a good fight for him. So, man, I'm just hoping nothing but the best for the young lion. Shout out to him for coming on. Another thing, I don't know if y'all seen it, but Gervonta Davis was on Breakfast Club today. He had a real good interview. He was calling out Tank. He was saying some of the same shit I've been saying as far as
how is Gervonta calling out Tank? That's crazy. He called himself out?
I mean, not calling out Tank, he was calling out Tevin. Then he was saying how he's afraid if they put that fight on the East Coast, somebody might get hurt, somebody might get beat up before the fight, it get violent.
That nigga Charlamagne a fool, man. He said, man, don't put it in driving distance, nigga. Too many niggas with guns coming to that fight.
Yeah, man, that's what made me want to see the fight, man. The build up to that shit would be crazy, man. And then he did it on like the biggest platform, so that gave Tevin some shine. You know, he's already shining, so that's, you know, just building that fight up even more. Man.
Let's see if it do the numbers that Tevin shit did on ESPN, because Tevin blasted him on ESPN. That shit in the millies.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I hope that fight get made. What else I wanted to talk about before I got off of here? You was next. Now I need to ask you a serious question, bro. You was talking about the cat that just signed the Vito cat that just signed the PBC. You made it seem like you think signing the PBC is a better option for him as a prospect. Now let's just keep it real.
No, I didn't. You just don't use your ears. I told you. I specifically said he need that top rank route.
What's the top rank route? Because all top rank prospects fighting headliners and about to be fighting for titles. Can you name them?
Bruh, you living in a world inside your head. We just had Cameron Duncan on who said he had to beg, okay? And the top rank doesn't believe, okay? With numerous of his world champions that are certified champions. Pavlik, multiple division. Crawford, multiple division. They don't believe. They believe in diet. Why you think Oscar Valdez ain't fighting fucking Shakur? Because they ain't stupid. They ain't trying to ruin their pockets. That's two champions. Why one? It's two. Two franchises. Why one? One sellout in North, one sellout in LA. You think I'm going to do it because you want to see a fight? No. Top rank diet. Nigga, talking about they headlining, selling out. Get your ass out of there, bro. What boxing you watching? Southside Deucey, what up?
Hey, yo, what's the deal, champ? As usual, I'm going to keep this real short and sweet. If you have not figured out why you need to sign up to Patreon, let this interview be the reason why. $3 a month, nigga. You can support, like, who else giving you this type of content? No cap, you know what I mean? Make sure y'all run down on all y'all social media networks and express how y'all feel to the WBC. That's what's going to keep them knowing that we engaged right here. Our voices is being heard right here on TBV. So salute to Mike and Ness. And that's my call, man. TBV, LDBC, New Media, hashtag that.
Appreciate
Southside
it,
dudes, man. Good call, big dog.
Appreciate it, man, because $36 a year, you know, that ain't shit. You know? Support. Know what I mean? Get my man Mike over here in studio. So then when we have shows like this morning, I could just hook his ass and it be on camera. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't Jersey like a gun toting state?
Nah, you need a license.
I'm saying it's not like New York where you can't have it at all.
Yeah, but it ain't no self-defense here. You shoot me here, you going to jail.
I'm in a wheelchair, nigga.
You gonna tell everybody? You gonna tell everybody your story in jail, nigga?
Shoot me right in the knee. Judge, I was a fear for my bro. He's 6'5", 280. I'm a feeble guy in a wheelchair.
Right. which all comes back full circle. Get them $3 up, man, so we could get Mike relocated. He already done it in Indiana too. He was only there for college. Let's go.
Yeah, I wasn't here for college. I was here because of my fucking Rick. But yeah, I wasn't here because I gotta be here now.
Exactly. Let's put him on the East Coast, man, where the bullets fly. Let's go to Joseph in Texas. I ain't said it. That's what Charlie Maine said.
Y'all see, I couldn't live in New Jersey if I can't have my gun.
Exactly, Joseph. Exactly.
We country.
I'm from the goddamn South.
We country boys out here. We gotta
goddamn South.
We gotta be out here. We shoot that shit for fun out here. Yeah, this weekend fight, man. I wish I could make it down to see Vergil Ortiz, and I think he's fighting in Dallas, right?
Yeah, he a Dallas boy too. I mean, he is a Texas boy too.
Yeah, he's from Grand Prairie.
Grand Prairie or something.
Yeah, he's from Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie. That's where he's from. Yeah, I wish I could make it down, man. Unfortunately, I got to work this weekend, but I'll be catching on the zone. What I really want to talk about is did you guys see where Dan Rayfield reported that they're looking at Chavez Jr. as a potential opponent for Danny Jacobs?
Yeah, yep. I had that on the list too, but I just didn't fucking cover it. Yeah.
It's
at
amazing
175 though, so Jacobs skipping a whole fucking weight class.
At 175?
That's what I thought I read at light heavyweight.
Wow.
Well, that's a division that.
Well, I mean, it makes sense for Chavez.
That's a division that Chavez is coming back in this Mexico fight. It's not really a given that
yeah.
That I don't think it's a given that Daniel.
You know what's amazing though?
But I think Daniel Rayfield was actually very clear in saying that it wasn't even a given that fight was going to happen, that they were just talking about it.
Yeah, Chavez got to win. And I think in order to justify him even getting that fight, he's got to, blitz this dude this weekend. He's got to look like 2010 Chavez. You know what I mean?
2010, who he fought? When has he looked good?
Hey, that's what I'm saying. But he was beating up on nobody, so he's got to go all the way back to that.
I feel sorry for him.
Which still wasn't much.
I feel sorry for him, yo. I can imagine being that son of that father, how difficult it must be. Not only you in your own head, but everybody's doing what we doing.
I hope Pacquiao's son paid close attention to what happened to him. You see Pacquiao's son out there training. I hope he paid.
Yeah, but he
you know
looked
what?
better anyway, though. He looked better. And remember, Chavez's issue was his he had no regimen, man. The dude was eating bowls of cereal and smoking pot. Come on.
Training in the living room, smoking weed, getting high. It's amazing what the strength of a name can do for you, though, ain't it, Ness? All these years later, and they're still talking about letting him fight Danny Jacobs. That's
Bruh, but
just
you know
based
what?
off the strength
I did my
of his
research,
name.
though. I did my research. This is a fight that Chavez has been wanting since 2017. I seen an Instagram post of Daniel Jacobs saying, "Oh, it looks like Chavez calling me out. I'll take him, whatever, and then found shit on Chavez.
Yeah, I remember
whatever,
that.
Man.
Chavez with Al?
Yeah, he was once upon a time. I don't know if he's still with him. I hear he's with Zanfa, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna say that should probably be on pay-per-view.
But Joseph, as always, gracias. We going out to Pluck. Talk to me, kinfolk. What up?
Who that? T Plums?
Nah, Pluck.
Pluck.
What up, Kevin?
What up?
Nigga, you forgot about me, Mike? Nigga?
Not bad, man. Coming out. Why everybody want to come for Mike today, nigga? Hey, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you like who? You like who? I've been listening for damn near 10 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I bad Pluck.
Hey, Ness.
Yep.
Hey, Kimbo. Hey, you tell H Money. I put 50 on Andy Ruiz, and he stay in Memphis just like me, nigga. So he can meet me at the police station and pay me my goddamn money, goddamn. So tell him I put 50 on Andy Ruiz.
Okay. Oh wow, he picking. He is picking AJ to upset, right?
The zone.
Okay.
Yeah, he picking AJ, so I'm gonna pick Andrew Reed. Gonna knock his ass out. I told you he got a motherfucking David Price chin. That's all AJ got. David Price chin, goddamn. I've been saying this shit for years, goddamn. That's my tap his ass in that damn light ass chin. He a big chin, look by the ass. Goddamn hell. So fuck him. So tell him he can meet me at the police station and give me my money, man. I'm already gonna put $50 on it. So tell him I got the bet if you want to bet. And he stay in Memphis too, so goddamn he can meet me.
Okay.
All right, holler at your boy, man.
For sure, Pluck. Thanks for calling in, man. We going out to alumni.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Joe, what up? Sounding like
Yo.
you in the mountains.
Yo.
Oh, you good?
How am I now?
You good?
Am I clear?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to you, Ness. Great work all this week. Yo, if you're listening out there, make sure you make the boxing voice your choice, the voice of the people. There is no equal. Yo, man, y'all doing awesome. Pound for pound type shit. Yo, you know what I want to see, man? If Vergil Ortiz wins this fight, man, I want to see him versus Jaron Ennis, man. That'd be a good crossroads fight for the prospects. Yo, and shout out to the interview with Breadman. That was the best this week, man. Awesome. That dude, Breadman, he need to be like the head of the commission if they ever had one of all the boxing, man. The dude is sound. He on point. And he could be a commentator. Man, yeah, dude, man, is on point. Get him back on the show. Shout out to all the callers, all the alumni, everybody in the chat. TBB is where it's at. I'm out. Peace.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling in, Info Joe. Who we got next on the docket, Ness?
What? Hey, Mike, what's the proper term for the Never mind. I'm sorry, man. H Money on the boomerang.
What's going on, H?
Yeah, hey man, you know what's going on. I got my boy Anthony Joshua knocking out Andy Ruiz. I'm taking all bets. Whoever want to bet me. You know, I heard a caller say they from Memphis. You know what's up? I'm the king of Memphis. You feel me? I'm in Walker Homes right now. I'm Young Mob. We can meet up any day, but it's not gonna be at no police station, and it can't be for fucking $50. You know what I'm saying? You see? Hey, you see me in the super chat. My money challenge is $100 and up. Get your fucking money up. It's TMG. I got the fucking most money. We in here. Devin Haney, new money, Ness. Shout out to the show, man. TBV, the best show in the fucking world. Hey, Ness, Devin Haney, I told you, the next Floyd Mayweather. Why is my boy, why is Lomachenko ducking him? He's supposed to be ranked #1 in the world. And he's ducking a 20-year-old. 20 years old, Devin Haney. Lomachenko already got a loss, Ness. Already. Marcelino, who got beat before. Lomachenko, who beat underweight. A little guy, Gary Russell. You feel me? Hey, rigging down an old man, Ness. Come on, man. Nicholas Walters, HBO hype. That's all hype, man. For real, man. I'm killing niggas, man. We in here.
Yo, but you going through Lomachenko's resume, ripping him, like, we got to go through Haney's, like, Mexico resume. Like, you got to let him get them fights, too. If you gonna rip Loma based off resume, you got to rip Haney based off resume. But what we got here? Looks like Marcus in D.C. Talk to me.
Yo.
What's up, Marcus?
Yo.
Yeah, this Malcolm. Malcolm out of DC, man.
Shit.
Malcolm out of DC.
The Jones. I just wanted to clarify on that. And
let's touch on that. Let's touch on that because from what I hear, Javonta Gym don't spar the Russell's gym.
No, they don't spar the Russell's gym, but they do spar our gym. I represent Headbangers. That's home of Lamont Peterson, Anthony Peterson, and all that.
But that's normal though. That's normal. Javonta's always trained that, not always trained and not full time, but we all know he's held camps there. We all know he's tight with Lamont and with Anthony and with Broner. So that's normal. The rivalry is with that Gervonta camp, that Russell camp, and some of them Philly camps. It's from what I hear. I don't know, but you can tell me better. Y'all don't spar the Tevin Farmer camp
No,
either.
you right. No, we don't spot Tevin Farmer camp. But
And
you know
y'all
what I'm
spar.
saying? We've been doing this for all these years.
And y'all don't spar that. What's my man name? Big Damani Rock. What's that gym? The Frederick Jenkins camp. Y'all don't spar that camp.
Fitness 10?
No.
They don't want that smoke.
What?
They don't want that
Come
smoke.
on, bro.
Man.
That's the home of
We
Jesse
don't want that
Hart.
smoke. Everybody know that's
the home of
Headbangers is
Jesse
where it's
Hart.
at, man.
That's the home of Jesse Hart. That's the home of Damani Rock. I mean, I think Sonny Conto in there. Like, come on, how they don't want that word? They all up and coming good names.
They don't want that smoke, man. Nobody in the world want that smoke with the Headbangers, man. Come on, man. HB for life, man. But yeah, I think I was talking about the coaches for Jared Hurd. I think Barry Hunter would be a good fit.
I mean, you sounding real biased
coaches.
right now. You sounding real biased right now. Or are
Of course, I gotta be.
All right, so let me ask you though: do you think he needs a coach that's in his local area, or do you think it is Barry Hearn? Like, are you just saying it because that's a coach from the DMV, or are you saying it because you think that's the right coach for him?
I think that would be the right coach for him because if you look at Barry Hunter's resume, what do we got? Great champions coming from Barry Hunter. We got Lamont. You already know we got what's his name? Sean Porter. Javante done trained under us a couple times, you know.
I
Just
mean,
to name a few, but I think it'll be good.
If you're going to do it like that, you got to name everybody then, because Earl done trained out of there. Rashid Warren done became a champion and trained out of there, you know. Anthony
Rashid
Peterson.
Warren came out of there, but Earl not really. Earl not really. I done been here all my life. I'm an amateur here.
Okay. Malcolm, how many amateur fights you got?
16.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
What division?
Welterweight.
Okay.
I'm coming up.
Okay. When you turning pro?
You
going to Olympics or something?
That's a good question.
You going to Olympics or you turning?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to wait out. I'm not turning pro.
Okay.
I like sparring in the gym. I like giving these pros that work.
Nah, y'all got a lot of amateurs out of there, man. I'm trying to think of the. It was one when I went down there. We did a competition on pull-ups, but he was real thin, man. I'm sure he grew up now. Can't even remember the name though. But want to thank you for calling in,
There's
Malcolm.
so many.
I know it is. You guys got a hella amateurs out there. Patrick Harris too. That's one. You know.
Yeah, Pat. That's my little man.
He pro now.
His dad is Bug.
Yeah.
And BMO too.
Yeah. Bumgarner doesn't train out of there, right? Oh, okay. All right, bro. Malcolm, take it easy, man. Thanks for calling in. We going out to the Boomerang. And Joseph, talk to me.
Oh, Ness, I got a question for you.
What up?
Would you consider Marvin Hagler elite?
Man, I'm not a history buff, man. I would have to go get into that, you know. I mean, you hear.
I mean, he had a lot.
You hear Max Kellerman, and he always puts Sugar Ray above everybody, no matter current, past, whatever. You know, people just got preferences, man. And my preference is my generation.
Oh yeah, but he puts Ray Robinson, which is weird because I don't think he ever really watched Ray Robinson. But I was gonna ask you that because your argument for elite was part of your argument was moving up in weight classes, and I was gonna see how you felt about Hagler because Hagler never moved up out of middleweight, and he all time is probably top 3 middleweight all time. I would put him at number 1, followed by Bernard Hopkins, but that was the only question I had for you.
Yeah, man. You know, the thing is, we weren't around for that, man. We weren't around. We won't know.
Yeah.
We won't know the ins and outs that we know. For instance, we got a welterweight fight. We know that this kid is a puncher, but we also know that his last fight, like Mike said, 39 years old, last leg of his career. all those asterisks, all those details, we don't know from Hagler's opponents because we wasn't privy to that information. We didn't have social media. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have dozens of articles daily. Like, you couldn't even get it. Like, you know, I don't know, man. I'm not one of those dudes that get stuck in the history. Yo, history is there. They did their thing. I'm with this generation, man, with the Shakurs of the world, talking greasy, with the Earls of the world, man, the Crawfords. Like, I don't know. Back in the day was back in the day. Mike, any final thoughts? Because those were mine.
No, man. Vergil Ortiz, ready to see what he has in store for me this weekend. Like I said, I haven't really seen much of him. Not like 1 or 2 fights, but happy to give him my undivided attention this weekend. Other than that, man, a lot of storylines, not a lot of fights this weekend. So we'll see how the betting show goes tomorrow, and if we can make any money.
Gonna be tough. I mean, I'm pretty sure this fight. Let me see what. Anyway, we'll save it for the betting show. But I'm pretty sure this fight should have something. NSGTO, Instagram and Twitter. Peace.
Gross1911 on IG and Gross2312 on Twitter. Smash that thumbs up button. Peace.
Future, present, past helps with the visibility of the show. Tell everybody, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend. A lot of interviews on this episode. Some good information. Help us share that and spread the word. And we will continue to get you these big time interviews. Peace.